What is up, Fire and the Kid family? We got a special show today. I sent out the bat signal because Brian's playing grab ass on the set of the Goldbergs, acting like he's a big celebrity. So I sent out the bat signal, and Josh Wolf answered the call.
What's up, man?
The one and only, man. You always bail us out.
Yeah, I love being here. I love being
you're
here.
The best.
And let's be honest, you get more listeners than the Goldbergs get viewers. So he probably chose poorly. I'm just saying. ABC's like, I wish we had Fighter and the Kid numbers. Oh, my Lord.
Man, it's tough, but Callan, there's just something about Callan, man. He just loves acting. I get it.
Well, he's good at it, dude.
He's really. It's actually that he moved to LA to be an actor.
Yeah,
that was his first passion, and he's studied. He took all the classes. I mean, he's balls deep in acting for about 25 years. They told him. I don't know if you listen to that show. They told him he's gonna be the next Tom Hanks.
Really?
They fucked him.
Yeah. They fucked him. That was not a nice. Whoever told him that was not.
I told him, I was like, oh, wow, Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Okay, that's aggressive.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
They fucked you. They set your ceiling high.
Yeah, which like Forrest Gump, Tom Hanks.
Oh yeah, we talking Tom Hanks.
Listen, I think Callan is a talented actor.
He's a fucking far cry from Tom Hanks. That's like calling me Muhammad Ali.
I know.
Nowhere near. Not even close.
I will tell you though, anybody who's ever seen Callan stand up, you can tell he's an actor.
Yes. We have a lot of friends who are comedians, stuff like that. Obviously, you're a comedian. And I watch their specials, and Callan just has so much stage presence, and he's so animated.
Yeah.
Animated.
I have to tell you, there's different schools of obviously stand-up, just like everything else with fighting. And so I don't know if it's the same with fighting as it is with stand-up, but some comics are elitists, and they're like, stand in front of the mic and tell your joke. And if you don't do that and just let the words speak for you, you're cheating.
Yeah.
I don't buy into that at all. I am subscribed to your job is to entertain the people in front of you. Your job is to win a fight. Whatever your
not anymore, but yeah,
but not anymore, right?
Yeah.
But so that whatever style it is, right?
Yeah, man.
So in his style, he's so engaging, and like when he's on stage, he is in every joke 110%.
Yeah, he's selling it. He might be overacting a little bit, but
that's why he's not Tom Hanks.
That's like the far cry from Tom Hanks. Dude, how about we had our live show in LA at the Comedy Store?
I know,
and it was sold out, right? Which is insane. And me and Callan are going over notes in the back, and he goes, "Bro, maybe don't be so animated. Try and stay in one spot."
He said that to you?
Yeah, and I went, "What did you just say?" And he goes, "Try and stay in one spot." I went, "Fuck off. You're telling me that? Are you kidding me? You're like a Tasmanian devil up there."
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
He told you to stay in one spot?
Yeah. He's like, you move around so much. I'm like, dude, I'm anime. I talk with my hands like I'm Italian, but I'm not. You know?
When you do the live show, so you're not sitting, you guys both stand?
No, it's
like the Nelson twins?
Show. Yeah, it's
you guys
like we're fucking Penn and Teller, but
do you have any like dance moves together?
Oh, we'll dance, we'll sing, we'll do all sorts of stuff. It's not a podcast. I think a lot of people who do live podcasts, it's a mistake, man, because in those live scenarios, people don't want to sit there and listen to you talk to your buddy.
Right.
So ours is, it's a show. It's a straight entertaining show.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have things planned?
We have a few things planned, but other than that, not really. We have we'll literally sit down an hour before the show and go, what do you think's funny? Me and him go back and forth. I'm like, oh, remember when you did this? Remember when you did that? So we'll just write Brendan Starbucks, Callan Jim. And then if we need it, we have like notes in the middle there. Just
do you got a Starbucks bit?
We got a little bit of Starbucks. Yeah, it's funny, man. It's funny.
Don't you hate it when they spell your name wrong on the cup? Me too.
Me too.
I actually, when I hear people complain about the name on the cup, I'm like, doesn't the fucking coffee taste the same?
It does, but your name's pretty easy to spell.
Listen, I'm Jewish. You could write kike on the cup, and I'd be like, does the coffee taste the same? That's fine.
Bro,
I don't care. It could be a swastika on there. I'm like, thanks for the coffee. Does it taste good? Yeah.
Bro, but you didn't grow up with people slaughtering your name, butchering your name. Like, as Brendan, I'd rather you call me Dickface than Brandon. Like, when I go, what's the name? I go, Brendan, and I get the cup that says Brandon, I feel like throwing that hot scalding coffee in their face.
Okay, but listen.
Fuck you, man.
Listen, it's not their fucking. You said your name to them one time. They hear a million names a day, and they're supposed to differentiate.
So
right?
why even ask my name?
Because
it's big guy. Just put big guy on there.
Well, then that's what you should say. Big fella. What's your name? Big fella. And they could go, big fella. Big fella?
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure it's like a non-fat latte with a lemon twist in it.
No, man. just black coffee.
Oh, then go to Dunkin'.
Oh, fuck you. Dunkin'?
Over Starbucks?
No way.
7-Eleven over Starbucks. Straight coffee? 7-Eleven
Bro, I don't know if
coffee.
we can be friends.
It'll kick you in the dick. That's what you want.
Fuck no. That stuff is watered down. It might as well be iced tea.
No, because they got
That
it.
stuff is crap,
The 7-Eleven, it needs to be strong because it needs to wake up the homeless. That's why they make it extra strong for the homeless people. I got to be up for 3 days. Well, let's go to 7-Eleven.
Drinking meth in it.
Yeah, they got to be up long enough to find a place to sleep,
Dude,
so
you're
they
doing
need
it
a
all
cup of
wrong. You're doing it all
7-Eleven
wrong.
coffee.
If you go to Starbucks and you get the reserve blend and you have them do it in their Clover machine, it will knock your dick in the dirt.
But I can buy 10 cups of 7-Eleven coffee for 1 cup of Starbucks. Not 10, but close. I mean, and it's good coffee. No? Mm-hmm. Now listen, that's the only thing I get.
Bumming me out, man.
No?
7-Eleven's shit.
Coffee. Dunkin' Donuts coffee better than Starbucks.
No. People say McDonald's is better than Starbucks.
Yeah. Listen, again, a cup of just straight black coffee. Oh, and you know what? Every now and then I'll dip my Egg McMuffin in there. Ooh.
Now you're talking.
That
I
is
don't
some
eat fast food, but now you're talking.
An Egg McMuffin is basic, and In-N-Out is the only. You don't eat In-N-Out?
No, I actually don't like In-N-Out.
What? Now
Fuck that noise.
So basically, we're
You
having a
and I are so
Starbucks.
different. You are so different.
Yeah. Wait, you don't like In-N-Out?
No, I
so
think
if you were
it's
gonna
so
get,
overrated.
what burger would you get?
I'm getting a Whopper with cheese and ketchup only.
With cheese, and you don't have any of the You don't put pickles on your burger?
I'm a goddamn American. No, I don't put pickles on
Wait,
my burger.
you're telling me you don't? Americans put pickles on their burgers?
ISIS puts pickles on their burgers. Americans don't. I fucking hate pickles.
Wait, a pickle on the burger or no?
Nope, can't get into it.
What?
Okay.
I'm obsessed with pickles.
Thank you.
On your burger?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. See?
She only likes Asians though.
What?
That's all she likes.
Wait. So you?
She's not very American.
Yeah, she's not very American, man.
Wait. So is your boyfriend Asian?
Yeah, he's Filipino.
That's Asian.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, but he doesn't eat pickles. You know what he likes on his burger? Cats.
Oh.
He like, can I get a cat on that? Oh, listen. When we were growing up, not kidding, we went to McDonald's, and my brother ordered we ordered a nugget, and there was a little claw. Okay, you know what my brother did? He ate that fucking nugget.
Did you get sick as shit?
No.
It was like a talon.
It was not like a huge. It was like a tiny little, yes, like a claw, like a claw. It wasn't like a huge one,
sick.
but he goes like this. He was eating it. He goes, and he takes it down. And there's a little claw, and I was like, oh no, like, and he said, he goes, should I eat it? I go, I don't think you should eat the claw.
How old are you this time? Please tell me under 20.
Oh yeah, under
Okay,
20,
then you're
absolutely,
good.
yeah,
As
under
a
20.
kid, you're like, check it out. I'm gonna eat the claw.
Well, listen, if I was in college, I'd eat in the claw too. Didn't you ever do stupid things for money?
Never that guy. No, never that guy.
Oh, I was. Listen, I was. Hey, who are we gonna get to do that? Josh. I had 3 older brothers, so to stop people from punching me in the face, I had to resort to
You had to get
doing
creative.
I had to do stupid things.
Dude, you were the guy when we bet on New England and Denver game. I was like, hey, how about dinner anywhere in LA? Winner picks. And you're like, that's so lame.
Yeah,
Don't
I
you
was
wanna, like punch me in the dick or something.
Yeah, I was said, let's do
No.
something embarrassing.
No.
I said, let's do some. You know what I said? I was like, loser has to lick Callan's nipple on camera. I'm glad you didn't accept that because I lost.
This titty would have been all up in your mouth.
I bet you he wouldn't be happy to hear you call it a titty, his titty.
He'd be offended. You're a huge sports guy. What'd you
Yeah.
think of the Super Bowl?
You know, I thought it was a pretty boring game.
Did you throw a big party?
No, because I didn't give a shit about the game. You know, when
Because the Patriots weren't in it.
not just the Patriots weren't in it, but I don't have a stake in either team. I don't even hate either team. Like, it's easier if I hated one of the teams. Like when the Giants were in it.
Yeah.
Easy for me because they were playing against the Patriots, but easy for me to root against a team that I hate. Both these teams, I would have been okay. I wanted Peyton to drop the mic and walk off a winner, and I would have been okay with seeing Cam win. I for me personally, Like yesterday, you know, people are getting on him about his post game.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
You know what I have a bigger problem with? If I'm a Panthers fan, him not diving for that fumble.
That was a little weird.
I don't care. Listen, that press conference, he is who he is. He's also a young kid. He's what, 25?
Yeah, but you got to realize if Cam's a guy like, if he's like Flacco with the personality of this fucking kettlebell.
Yes.
That's not fun for us to analyze.
No.
It's not fun to break down. Cam is a character. And with being a character, you're getting a lot of criticism, right? Especially the old white media members.
Yep.
Like, oh, he's celebrating, blah, blah. No, we want them. And this new generation, it's fun to watch how he's having fun celebrating. So when that doesn't go wrong, that passion's still there. So when he loses a game, especially the biggest game of his life, when he loses that, you're still going to get the same passion, but it's not going to be as fun to watch.
I agree. And I think he's already matured a lot. Like 2 years ago, remember when the cameras always caught him pouting and shit like that?
Years before that, he was stealing laptops at the University of Florida. So, yeah, he's come a long way.
Yeah, I mean, he really has, right? So he's maturing. I don't have the problem with the press conference. Look, you know,
he lost the Super Bowl.
Lost the Super Bowl. And you know what? You have to learn how to lose. Dude had won 15 out of 16 games. They'd been what did they won? Like they were like 19-1 in their last 20 games or something like that.
In a row or something like that. And he's MVP of the league.
Okay.
Big deal.
My problem is you're within one score. You're down by 6. It's the fourth quarter. That fumble, the ball is on the ground right in front of you. You can't start making business decisions then.
That was weird.
Wasn't that weird? Are you telling me?
That's a bummer.
And I'm a Brady guy. But what I love about Brady, this is why I don't understand why people hate on him. Wasn't he a 7th round pick? 6th round pick? Six, 7. So clearly is a guy who never lost focus, never lost drive, not blessed with the best physical body in the world.
No talent, really. It's all mental for him.
And hard work, okay? Not only so he's an underdog who's gone from the bottom to the top. He does things the right way. Would you say that?
100%.
He has a pretty decent looking wife who makes more money than him. He's got a good life.
Not heard, yes.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella.
He's killing the game.
What is there not to like? Is it just that he's winning?
It's that he's winning. And that's all it is, really. I think in general, most people like him.
You think so? Because I think
so.
Did you hear him get booed yesterday at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Booed!
Well, look where he's at, though.
I know, he was in San Francisco.
And it's a Peyton crowd,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But
did you, going in, honestly, you're a Denver fan. I mean, listen, the game had to play out exactly the way it did. I was saying before, I thought Carolina would win because I didn't think the offense, Denver's offense, could score 13 points.
But it's always about defense.
They didn't. Yeah.
It's always about defense. So with Denver's defense, which it's technically, statistically, the best Denver defense of all time. Better than the Orange Crush, everything.
Yeah.
So when you have that good of defense, I thought back to the old Baltimore days with Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and those guys, and they had fucking Trent Dilfer. We got Peyton Manning. He can't fuck it up that bad. Not to mention, the defense definitely won the Super Bowl. Peyton Manning did not play well.
Every ball that left his hand, just like the Patriots game, every ball that left his hand, I was like, oh, that's getting picked off.
It was like shit.
Terrible.
He looked like shit.
Terrible.
Offense did nothing.
No. And you know what? After the game, it was so clear. He should have just said, yes, I'm retiring.
Please do.
He has to.
I
Are you
agree.
happy with Brock Osweiler as a quarterback?
Fuck no. We're screwed if that's our quarterback.
I mean,
he's immature. He has a long ways to go.
I think, look, Elway has, in 2 years, flipped that team entirely.
Defense for sure, yeah.
In a league, I just was thinking about this, right? In a league that's been geared towards offenses for years now, right? It's really been like they're changing the rules so offenses succeed. The dominant defenses are sticking their dick in them.
It always has.
Killing them.
There's this trend, but you look at the Seahawks, great defense. You look at all these teams, New England, pretty good defense.
Yeah.
I just feel like now we'll see what John Elway's made of because Peyton Manning's done. Even if they sign him again, he's fucking done.
They're not gonna
He's
sign
like
him.
the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, they're
he's
gonna
done. So who's out there? You got RG3, you got Kaepernick, you got some free agents.
Kaepernick stays, and now with Chip Kelly, Kaepernick
I heard
stays.
he wants out though.
I think RG3 either goes to the Rams or the Cowboys.
Probably
Would
the Cowboys.
be, yeah. Look,
Let's bring Johnny Manziel to Denver.
what do you think about him? You think he's done?
He'll be dead in I give him 2 months.
Dead? Dead in 2 months? He's on the top of your death pool? Dead?
If we're giving out odds.
Like I was saying out of football, you're talking dead. Like
we're talking suicide, son.
Wow,
you're suicide stuff.
You're calling your shot, literally? That's fucked up.
This podcast just got dark.
Yeah, we were talking about football, and you're like, I think he's gonna kill himself in 2 months. Oh my
Jeez,
god,
man, it's aggressive.
Yeah.
I'd say over under the probability is pretty high though.
Why do you say that? He's got a ton of money. Listen,
He grew up a rich kid though,
What? So
and now the one thing he had, football, it's taken away from him. You know what I'm saying? Where you can walk around, that's that fucked up Johnny Manziel. And you don't threaten your girlfriend saying, I'm going to kill both of us.
yeah, that's true.
Well, okay, that's weird talk.
yeah, that.
And his dad also said he's denied rehab and thinks that he's suicidal.
Let me ask you a question, Johnny Manziel. So, I guess I understand the fall from grace.
I was a fan too.
Me too. Can you think of a college athlete who got more vagina during their time in college than Johnny Manziel? Can you think of any? Now, I would have said Tebow, but we know that Tebow is
It's not
happening.
looking for sure. But
Yeah, right. But Tebow.
hey, has there ever been someone who got so much college pussy and looked like Johnny Manziel? Like,
That's
he's
what
not
I'm
a
saying.
good-looking dude.
By the way, that's why when
He's
people
like a
say
40s gangster.
yes,
He looks like shit.
yeah, see,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna
what he
go
looks
back
like.
to Texas A&M. See,
that's what he looks
that's why like when people tell me when girls are like, all a guy needs is a sense of humor. Fuck you. That is not what. No,
And a lot of
Mick
fame
Jagger's
and money.
funny. No. Iggy Pop's funny? No. Those guys aren't funny. Who's
The
fucking
superstars.
Carrot Top? Nobody.
No.
Carrot Top's pretty funny.
You think he's funny?
0.0 people are fucking Carrot Top. The only person fucking Carrot Top is Carrot Top.
It's good.
And he's doing it with one of those toys he takes out of his.
I feel like Carrot Top fucked up. Not that we're going down a weird road now, but
Well, you already killed Johnny
I did,
Manziel. Where
sorry,
else
man.
can we go?
Carrot Top fucked up by getting on all the steroids. Being big in steroid is not funny.
And
Be the
Botoxing his
skinny
face.
Guy. Yes, be the
Yeah.
skinny guy who's just like wild and loopy and crazy. Don't get all steroided up. He looks like Bane. He looks like Bane with red hair, and he's trying to tell jokes. Everyone's like, "All right, well, this is a shit show."
Listen, I will tell you, I have seen
jacked.
the show. He's jacked. If you got beat up by Carrot Top, is that a low point?
Yeah, you're on some Johnny.
That's gotta
Manziel
be like
shit.
if you
Yeah,
if
you're.
you get beat up by Carrot Top, you're like, well, I'm either gonna have to kill him. Like you would have to come back. You don't want to.
You gotta come back with your boys and fuck him up.
Yeah, you can't get beat up by Carrot
just
Top.
don't
But then
walk
he
that
pulls like all this shit out of his trunks, and he kills all. He's like Batman.
Be distracted.
Yeah,
he's like
and-
the Joker, but the old like Adam West days always has some shit in his pocket.
Are you telling me? So do you think that you think athletes or musicians have an easier time getting vagina?
Famous musicians. Famous. Well,
listen. You put somebody up on an open mic with an acoustic guitar, and he's fucking somebody.
yeah, but he's not like he's not on
Is the-
Instagram shredded working out like an NFL athlete or NBA guy.
Is the field goal
dick
is
down
the
to his
field goal
ankles.
kicker getting as much Vinny J as he wants?
no?
Is the dude who is the
He's
dude
so
who
small.
yeah, and probably European. Is the dude is the dude who kicked those field goals last night for the Broncos? Did he show up in Denver today like, "What's up, ladies?"
No, he's jacking off back at his 1-bedroom apartment because he's the kicker. You're not even a football player. There's a reason why those guys don't get voted to the Hall of Fame.
But
You don't count.
Brock Osweiler? Is he stepping in it today? Von Miller is.
Von Miller's balls deep in. He's doing Molly. He's fucking.
Can I tell you something? Von Miller last night was out wherever he was. People were literally taking vagina out of their pockets and throwing it at him.
Oh, he's
he
killing
was
him.
dodging it. He was like, oh, no, you got a little pussy in my drink.
Dude, killing it.
Right?
I would say in this day and age, it's tough because you look at a guy like, if we're talking huge like celebrity rock stars,
Yeah.
and not considered a rock star. There's not too many rock stars anymore. But you look at a guy like Bieber or One Direction,
Yeah.
dude, they can't go anywhere without getting fucked.
I'm
I was
crazy.
listening. Do you know who Trey Songz is?
Yeah.
So Trey Songz was talking about so funny. He was because he's like our version of R. Kelly, our generation's R. Kelly. He's just talked about sex. He's a fucking handsome looking dude, and he was talking about how he goes in the club, and he was like, dude, I just feel like a victim now. I go in, all these girls just want to fuck me, man. And he's dead serious. He's like, these girls just want to fuck me. It's getting really frustrating, No one wants to know who the real Trey Songz is. They're just trying to fuck me all the time. It's like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
He was acting like he was like,
What's
I
the
feel
problem?
how girls are now. I'm like, hey, man.
Yeah.
Pull your fucking pants up and get to work. What are you talking about?
Well,
He's
first
talking
of all-
about how anywhere he goes now, like everyone's like, oh, there's Trey Songz. That's Mr. Take Your Girl. He's gonna fuck your girl, and he's like, so dudes are like, dragging the girls away from me. He's like, it's a persona, man.
But here's the thing. You're saying nobody knows who the real Trey Songz is. That's not your real name, right? Trey Songz with a Z?
Yeah, your mom.
Okay, so your last name isn't Songz with a Z, right? So how about you give it? You are Trey Songz, so we're going to treat you the way you portray yourself to be.
Exactly.
As soon as you want to tell us your name is George whatever.
And you like to read and
fucking
get to know people.
I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to get my Bitcoin on or whatever.
But then all your music
What is a Bitcoin,
stops.
by the way?
I don't know.
Anyone?
Do you see it's a like form of currency, right?
Yeah.
Do you see the PayPal commercial?
No, I didn't.
It was like new money, old money, get your new money. And it was like PayPal. Pretty good commercial.
But Bitcoin isn't anything. It's like not even physical. Like you can't hold Bitcoin.
Same with PayPal.
Yeah, but PayPal.
digital.
But PayPal, I'm putting money into PayPal out of my account. A Bitcoin is like what? It's something that's completely
magical.
made up.
It's like magical internet currency that you use seemingly for like illegal purchases.
Yes, like
really?
the dark net.
Yeah, like
really?
the only time
Have
I've
you
heard
found
of
the dark
Bitcoin
net?
being used is for that.
No, I'm
Have
sure
you
it's
ever found the
me.
dark net?
I'm a fan of those.
No,
guys,
I'm scared.
man.
If I feel like if you get there, you can't get out.
But how do you get to the dark net? I want to know. Like you can buy hairless cats and shit. Like there's weird things you can
How do
buy.
you get in the club though?
I don't know.
Those are the same guys that anonymous, right? They run all the dark net and they like hack into your phone and shit and send everyone your dick pics. They do, man. I don't fuck with those guys.
How many
I'm a
dick-
fan. You guys need anything? Hit me up.
How many dick pics have you sent? Are you a dick pic? I've sent one dick pic. I've sent one, but I made it funny. I put a cigarette in between my nuts and my leg, and I put some of those fake glasses on. Because if I'm going to send a dick pic, it's got to be funny. I
sent
can't
to-
be like, hey, here's
sent
my
to your
dick.
wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I go, somebody misses you. And it was it had a lit cigarette in between my sack and my leg.
That's pretty funny.
And the glasses.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
You know what?
There's
There's not too many girls who want dick pics.
It's
very aggressive.
But not only that, dude. Listen, I'm not telling you something you don't know. The penis does not photograph well. Nobody's ever looked at a picture of a dick and been like, "That's a great fucking picture."
You know, I wish Callan was here because he put some time and thought into dick pics because he has like this lighting and
You can't light it
I'm
right.
telling you, Callan has
can't-
some sort of weird gift with dick pics.
No,
I'm telling you.
no. Have you seen them?
Oh yeah.
And they look like a dick, right?
You know what? It looks like a piece of art. He has like
do you
lights. He puts makeup on it and like
No, he
moisturized.
doesn't.
Yeah. And he's like, look at this thing. He's like, look at the angle. I'm like, it looks like you have a 7-foot long dick. He's like, that's right, brother.
Wait,
He goes, you know how long this took me to do? He knows what the fuck he's doing.
Okay, I got two things for that. That makes me think that he may be the first person ever that's maybe Botoxed his dick to get some of the wrinkles out.
That's a good point.
Would you put that would you put that above him?
No chance. He 100%. I mean,
Do you think he ever
makeup-
went into his doctor and was like, "Can you do something about the veins?"
Is there any way you could just kind of smooth out the trunk? Like, I guess,
Smooth
man.
out the
smooth
trunk.
out the trunk. I was a girl that I knew from I forget what show I worked with on. Won't say her name, but she goes, "Yeah, I'm talking to this guy, and you know we're talking a little bit." And then he sends me this video, and she shows it to me, and it was just so
was it?
aggressive. It's just him just videos jacking off, but I mean
But you don't.
so aggressive.
But what guys need to know is that when you send someone your dick pic, they're showing everybody.
So it better be good.
It better be good. It better be top notch. Because if it's not a good,
It's getting out there.
oh,
Like you don't want to do a Brett Favre with your Crocs on that little bush.
oh,
Did you ever see that?
dude,
Hey, bro.
I thought it was a picture of his thumb. I was like, why doesn't his thumb have a nail?
thought it was-
Oh, that's his
I
dick.
thought it was Photoshop.
Yeah.
Why would you send that?
No,
Hey, girl, you trying to get this? What is that?
no, yeah, you
What's going on
can't.
there?
Yeah, that looks
You
like
gotta trim up.
you gotta.
I know you're Mississippi. You have no idea what's going on in the world, but you gotta trim up. You for sure have to trim up.
You also have to trim up, and you also have to get the blood moving a little. And if that's as good as it gets, then you just have to decide, I'm going to send you a picture of somebody else's dick.
I agree.
Right? And then we'll get to that surprise later.
But you can't
when
wear
you
Crocs. Regardless, you can't wear Crocs.
in your dick pic?
100%.
No, that-
And you don't do it down. You do it up, bro.
Look, if you put a crock in a dick pic, vaginas are drying up all across the country. It's like
It's rule number one.
oh, no Crocs in your dick pics. I will tell you now I have a lot of gay fans. Do you have a lot of gay fans?
I have no idea.
Well, you'll know when you start get pictures of assholes on your Twitter page.
I've gotten dick pics.
Yeah.
Well, I have one guy on my Instagram that keeps calling me babe.
Listen, there's one guy who once a month sends me a shot of his actual hole.
Okay.
And so for me, that stuff doesn't bother me, and I'm happy for whatever any fan that I have,
take
right?
whatever
Yeah.
fan, yeah.
But my response is always, because I'm curious, because it's such a good shot and it's clean.
You bleached it?
I ask him every time, how many shots did it take to get this one? And he always texts me, tweets me back, 7, 8. There was like a record. He's like 14. One time it took him 14 to get the shot he wanted.
Every month on the clock, you send
every
him an
month he
asshole
sends
pic?
me a nice asshole. Now,
Is that what gay guys do though? Like instead they'll send dick pics, but also asshole pics.
I don't know. I think he does it now because he knows I respond to it. I think it's funny.
It's nice
yeah.
That's your guys' thing.
Well,
It would be a thing.
I hadn't thought of that. Stopping
it's your
this
thing now.
oh my God, it is our thing.
It's your thing. If it's reoccurring every month, and is it the same picture every month?
No. He changes it up for me.
That's nice.
I feel now that I'm talking about it out loud.
thing now.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, real quick, bro.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I
You
might
got
have
an asshole
yeah,
thing.
I may have to, because to me it's funny. Like I show people, I'm like, look at
You're
that.
married. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and to me, like my wife doesn't mind it if dudes send me pictures of their. Now there is also a woman who like once a month sends me a close-up picture of her vagina.
See, I don't like that. See, to me,
neither.
girls send a close-up picture of the vagina is the same as a guy just sending a like horrible dick pic. Like it almost grosses me out.
Listen,
I'm almost like, come on, man.
Yeah,
It's too much.
and honestly,
Leave something to
yes.
bro.
That's why, like for me, like I don't like all nude strip clubs,
Brother.
right?
Yes.
I don't want because here's
Leave the thong on.
Listen, I'm not. I don't want to judge, but I'm going to go ahead and assume if you're dancing all naked, you've made some bad decisions in your life.
I'm not a strip club guy, man.
Me neither. For me, it breaks down into a strip club, and I told you this before, hooker guy, and have I ever told you the one story about me getting a hooker?
I don't think so.
Oh my God. Okay.
What city, first of all?
Las Vegas, and
Of course.
I was there with my brother, and I was never a hooker guy because I like to chase. I think it's in our DNA. It's hunter-gatherer stuff.
If it's too easy, everyone's like, whatever.
Right. So I never liked the idea of paying for it. So I was in Vegas, and in Vegas they hand you the hooker menus on the
Yeah.
street. So
You're one of the guys that take one of them?
well, I looked at it and I said to my brother, I've never had a hooker before, and he was like, "You've never had a hooker?" And I said, "Are you saying that makes me the weird one?" And he was like, "Well,
He's kind of right.
he was like, at your age, yeah." So we go up into the room, and I was like, "Dude, I feel weird getting a hooker with you here in the room." And he was like, "Well, I'll go to sleep." And I was like, "Okay." Which I should have known better.
You're sharing a room?
Sharing a room. This was years ago.
Of course
Years
you're
ago.
not gonna sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
So I call the place, and the woman said to me, "Well, most of the girls are out because it was late. What do you have in mind?" And I said, "What do you got left?" And she told me, and we had it narrowed down to 2. We had it narrowed down to Asian or Puerto Rican. And so the woman said, "This is easy because their body types are completely different. I can either send over a petite Asian or a giant Puerto Rican." And now listen, I'd had sex with a petite Asian before. I've never even fucking seen a giant Puerto Rican. Do you know what I mean?
That's how she described it?
Giant Puerto Rican. Yeah. So I told her, Red Rover, send the giant Puerto Rican on over. Let's see what we got. We're in Vegas. I've had sex with a petite Asian. Let's see what a giant Puerto Rican looks
I
like.
get that.
Yeah.
It's a hard pass for me on the giant
No,
Puerto Rican.
I see. I'm the guy that if you go, Josh will do it. Let's just see what. I've never even said. It's like it would be like fucking a unicorn. Have you ever seen a giant Puerto Rican before?
I haven't, man.
Okay. When she knocked at the door, it wasn't like a. It was a.
She's like, "What's up, bitch?"
She should have said fee fi fo fum.
She was huge.
Okay, so I sneak over to the door because my brother is sleeping, so he says, and I sneak over to the door because I'm like, she's hit that door hard. Let's look out the peephole. And so I sneak over and I look out the peephole and I hear her go, "You got to open the door to see the goods." She had her thumb over the peephole.
Tight move.
Listen, that tells me that's somebody who's been rejected through a peephole before,
Tight
right?
Move,
Yeah.
Tight move, Sammy Sosa.
There could have been white Sammy Sosa behind that door, right? So I was like, well, now I'm really curious. I open the door, 6'5" in heels.
Oh.
Not giant this way, but giant this way. Now, I'm not 6'5".
Yeah,
She's
definitely
taller
not.
than you, and how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Yeah, she's taller than you in heels. And so the first thing I looked for was
Dick.
no,
Oh, really?
Adam's apple.
Oh, see, I had to go straight for the dick.
Well, here's the thing. In order to look for the dick, you can be masterful in the
Yeah,
tuck.
they're good these days.
I
Like
would have had to
musicians.
touch it. And if I had touched it and there had been a dick there,
Then it's on.
I would have already touched the dick, and I might have been like, well, fuck it, come in.
It's a pass.
Yeah. No, I've already touched the dick. I would rather find out about the dick than touch it, right? Because she would have had to take her pants off, and I've been like, oh, you got to
check for an Adam's
I looked at Adam's apple, and then I said, Adam's apple looked good. I said, can I see your knuckles? Because man hands and women hands are different. So she held her hands out like this, and I was like, come on in. She scared the shit. She pushed me over on the bed. Now I'm cutting to the very, pushed me over on the bed with two hands. If someone two-hand pushes you to the chest with confidence, they're pretty sure they can beat you up.
100%.
Right? She knocked me over. I made that noise. I might even jazz hand it once. I started to get nervous. She took off her shirt
Your
and
dick
her
is
bra.
not hard.
No, it's running into my asshole for cover.
Yes.
It's like I need to find.
It's retracting like a turtle.
Yes.
See ya.
This is when I was like, this shit can't happen. She took off her shirt, then took off her bra. One fake tit, one real one.
Okay. Well.
And I go, what is the deal there? Her left tit, dude, looked like it had just had a stroke. Do you know what I mean?
Another one's upright?
Yeah, the other one's upright. Her left tit looked like Stallone's lip. You know how it just kind of dips a little bit?
Man.
So I was like, oh, you got Bell palsy titties. Like, that's not okay.
She's on a budget, so she only paid for one.
Yes!
Are you serious?
She said I couldn't afford to get them both done at the same time. And I said, you cannot use a Groupon for your titties. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's where I'm drawing the line.
She said, why do you think I'm here now, bitch? I'm trying to buy this other titty.
I told her, I can't have sex with you. I cannot have fucking sex with you. I can't. And I gave her all the money. And then she tried to strong arm me. She was like, well, I'm going to need an extra $200 for the insult. This was years ago.
Oh, hell no.
I'm in the room with my brother, so clearly neither one of us have a lot of money. And I'm like, I gave you all the money in my pocket. And she said to me, you'll find some more money, or I'm going to make a phone call, and you're not going to like who comes to that door. Now, all I know is not only can this 6'5" woman kick my ass, but whoever kicks her ass can definitely kick my ass.
So you got scared.
Adam, you've read like a paper, like man found bloody and dead in the Vegas hotel room?
For sure. Just go down to the lobby, though.
I didn't think I could get out of I thought she would block the door.
Hey, but you and your brother?
My brother was supposed to be sleeping, right? So he's trying to see how this plays out, what I found out later. But she was like, you're going to give me, and I started to panic a little bit. I was like, I don't have any money. And she started to make the phone call. My brother pops up out of bed. He goes, I got some money. And he gives it to her, and he goes, get the fuck out of the room. Now, what I didn't tell you is that she wouldn't let me touch her bag. When the bag hit the table, it made a huge noise, like there was something heavy in there. And I was like, what's in the bag? And she said, you might find out later. And I was like, oh,
Was it a gun?
My brother said he was waiting to see if she was going to pull a strap-on out of the bag. He was like, I was hoping that weight was a strap-on. And I was like, dude, this is how fucked up brothers are. Do you have a brother?
Oh, yeah.
You fuck with each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
So my brother goes, I go, what if there had been a strap-on? He goes, that'd have been funny, right? I go, you were going to let her fuck me with a strap-on? This is exactly what he said. He goes, no, dude, you're my brother. I would never let that happen to you, but I would have let her tease the hole a couple times.
It's true. It's true. Holy fuck.
Yeah. And then I never went back for another hooker. Tease the hole?
That's a bad experience.
It's a terrible experience. Would you have done that to your brother?
No. As soon as she,
You're a big dude,
As
though.
soon as she, and my brother's big too. As soon as she threatened one of us,
Yeah.
Well, now you're crossing the line. Now you're in man zone.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna get treated like a man, especially at 6'5".
Did you?
Now I'm gonna take your money,
When you and your brother were
and
growing up.
I'm gonna clap your one titty. now you're fucked.
I'm going to grab you by the real one and drag you out.
Yes.
When you and your brother were growing up, did you ever fight together? Like, did you guys ever, not against each other, but with each other? Did that ever happen?
We fought all the time, nonstop. We had to see a therapist because he was so mean to me growing up. He used to whip my ass so bad, just over anything at anger management. And then,
But did you guys ever fight against other people?
So me and him fought like cats and dogs. We really didn't like each other growing up.
Uh-huh.
But if anyone messed with one of us, then you get both the Schaubs, and we're gonna fuck your world up.
Did that ever happen?
Oh yeah, all the time. But really, it was more. I wasn't really the fighter, man. I was more the lover. I was trying to make people laugh, and I was
Right.
good at sports. My brother's the one that you just didn't want to mess with, man.
Did he
had
have
a
an anger
temper.
issue?
Yeah. I think because my parents got divorced and he was going through some stuff. And so also in where we grew up, like if you're the tough guy fighting, that's the way you proved yourself. If you weren't playing sports, you'd beat guys up. So he was the one you didn't want to mess with. Like, you're like, fuck, you want to mess with Jay.
He's
It
older
wasn't
than you?
me. Yeah, it wasn't me. And no one was scared of me. They would pick me first in football if we were playing tackle football.
Yeah.
And they would pick him just because he was my brother. Because they didn't want to fuck with the repercussions of picking him last. but he's probably going to be picked last. Wasn't a great athlete.
You know what's interesting, though? The older sibling, and this happened with my kids and happened with my brothers, the older sibling takes the brunt of whatever's happening in the family.
Yeah. Way harder than to me, it was just like, whatever. Two rooms, two
They're
Christmases.
also treated, I'm sure he got told things about the relationship. Like, they're treated like an adult more than they should be.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
No,
like,
I agree 100%.
they get dragged down. Like, if your mother or father or my mother or father needed a sounding board and the other grown-up isn't there, unfortunately, they end up talking. You know, my oldest son, this is terrible. And it explains why. Look, I'm glad he went into the military. It really helped him with discipline and all that stuff. But he had he saw my ex get her stomach pumped, right? Like, when he was 7.
That's tough.
That can't not affect you.
I agree.
The other kids are too young for it to.
At 7, that's burned into your memory.
Into the brain.
Yeah.
I remember him asking me, maybe he was 8, and it was whatever.
I bet he doesn't drink now. He's not a big drinker, right?
He doesn't drink or drug or anything. It's an interesting thing for him. He's so anti that but he was forced to see things because there were times like, look, the ambulance is there. Me and the 3 kids had come home from shopping, and my ex was in the room, and she had been stomach pumped, right? Pills, bottle, all
Here
that
they
stuff.
are.
Yeah.
Got
All
the
right.
squad. What's up, champ? We got the legend, one of the all-time greats, Royce Gracie in the house, Fighting the Kid Studio. Thanks for coming in, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah, it was as soon as DJ mentioned having you on, I was like, Royce Gracie? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, it's a no-brainer. That's like calling a basketball guy, hey, man, you want Michael Jordan on? Yeah, I do. Go ahead and bring Michael Jordan in.
Only if you can get here on a Tuesday.
He's the only guest I said, you tell me. Pick a time and date. Usually, it's to our schedule. For you, it was pick a time and date, come on in. Because
I was afraid to get beat up because I'm running late.
no way, man. No way. We know how it works. But, just think about all your legacy and stuff like that. You're 50 now, correct?
49. Come on, man.
My bad.
Don't
49.
age me.
Hey, my bad. 49. My bad.
Don't age me anymore, all right?
Even now, I've been out of the UFC, out of fighting for a little over a year now. Even if I were to jump into camp now after being out for a year, it's going to be tough. How has training camp been for you? Because you have a big fight. Those that don't know, you have a big fight coming up on Spike TV against your old rival, Ken Shamrock. So for you, jumping back in camp, how has it been different?
It's not like I've been sitting at home just doing nothing. Like I say, my drawing is good. I'm on target. My group is good. My equipment's good. I just haven't been to war.
Yeah, but do you
But
have
everything is on target.
no injuries? You're good.
No injuries.
But for you, because the game's changed so much since last time you fought, so camps are a little bit different now. Like it would be tough to do, because back in the day, especially UFC 1, stuff like that, you could do an all jiu-jitsu camp and you're going to be fine. But now, you have to be so dynamic and bring all these other kind of, mixed martial arts. It's mixed martial arts now,
I'm a jiu-jitsu fighter.
Yeah.
I always did learn the stand-up game, not because I'm going to try to knock him out, more for me to know what's coming at me. I'll train with wrestlers for me to know how they move, for me to know how they're going to shoot in, when they're going to shoot in, to get their timing, not because I'm going to try to out-wrestle him.
Yeah. You just want to understand it.
As you've gotten older, how has your training changed? Does it change as you get older?
There is only so many ways to throw a right hand, to throw a jab,
That's a
good
a
point.
roundhouse kick. People say the game changed so much. What changes the equipment, the way people train, strategy. But there's only one way to throw a jab. A jab is a jab.
Yeah.
A roundhouse kick is a roundhouse kick. There's no a choke is a choke.
Right, but as you've gotten older, do you train longer? Do you train shorter? Are you smarter with the way you train? Do you conserve more?
I always train smarter. Endurance is a big part of the game.
Right.
At least for me, I don't have the strength, as you can see.
But you never have. That was your thing. You never have, right?
It's
Like your strength was never
endurance.
Your
So
go-to,
the
yeah.
rules change compared to the beginning. There was no time limit. The short time limit, that doesn't favor me fighting somebody bigger.
Is this a 5-round fight?
3 rounds. 3-round fights.
It's 3 rounds.
3 5-minute. Yes.
Do you wish it was 5? 'Cause I feel like that
I
would
wish
help
there
you.
was no time limit.
Yeah, I bet.
Really?
1 round, start, let it go.
Yeah.
Really? Why? Because
well, especially with jiu-jitsu, like that's especially going against a bigger guy. That's kind of how it all got started.
About maybe 3 4 years ago, I decided to go for a long run. I run quite a bit just to see how far I can run. Never ran a marathon. After 41 miles, 7 hours later, I stopped and I was like, okay, call the car. My calf's cramped up. I can't take another step.
do you know, in my lifetime, if you combined, I've never run 41 miles. In my lifetime, combined with my feet. If you include walking, I don't think.
Yeah, that's
I
Royce
like
Gracie.
Yeah, I like
Yeah, he
cars.
just does it for the
yeah,
hell of it.
yeah.
For the
By the
hell
way,
of it.
I don't know if you know this. We got Uber. You don't have to. You don't
have
got
to
to
do
jog.
that,
You can
man.
just hop in a car. Someone will take you where you want to go.
Do you feel like the kind of where the state of the game is at now, that it's becoming too commercialized, almost too much like other sports? So there's different rules than when you were fighting. There's time limits now. There's sponsors. There's a lot more that goes into it.
But
now.
that's good.
Yes.
I agree with that. It's that helps the fighters, sponsors, and you see the time limit, the rules. It's even for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 5 minutes for both of us.
True.
Well, it's everything. All the rules are pretty much it's equal for both of us.
But before you came in, I was telling Josh, we were going over some of your credentials, stuff like that, and I said, if you weren't tapping guys out, let's say there's no Royce Gracie, there's no jiu-jitsu, let's say it's just 2 meathead wrestlers in UFC 1, I don't think the sport evolves like it did, because we expect that out of wrestlers. They're tough, they're going to grind, it's whatever. Like, yeah, that's cool, but really the kind of fire that came from this skinny jiu-jitsu guy tapping guys out with a martial art we didn't know, that was kind of like, dude, you got to look at this. And that's how the game evolved. So I don't think there's a UFC today where we're at if there's no Royce Gracie in jiu-jitsu. Because if you just had a boxer, we know what they do. If you have a wrestler, we can understand that. But when it was this kind of mysterious martial art, it was like, yeah, man, that's different. We don't know this. And that was kind of the X factor, I think.
I was talking to Gerard Gordeau. I went to teach a seminar at his school in Holland. And he's like, man, after you beat me, we came back to Holland and we start to restudy the whole game, and we prepare Remco Pardue, who's a judo player, to fight you, and you beat him fast and easy. And we're like, we came back, we're like, okay, we gotta learn the stuff.
They have to. It was. There's no doubt you have to.
Both of you guys, obviously, I'm somebody who's never fought before. I'm dying to know, one thing I've always wanted to ask, can you feel in a ring when somebody has had enough? Obviously, nobody's throwing in a towel. Can you feel when somebody's quit?
Royce?
Yes.
What does that feel like? Is it in their intensity? Is it in their eyes?
What I felt was the feeling of my opponent of there's no way I'm gonna beat Royce.
You can see it in their face? Is that what it is?
You can feel it.
You
Really?
can feel, yeah.
You can see.
The guy's like,
there's a
he's
look.
lost. He's like, doesn't know, what am I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
And what do they generally do? And at that point in time, when you see that or feel that, do you go on the attack? Because
You get confidence.
and they kind of shrink,
They
and
know
you
it's up.
is that basically?
Yeah. When you break, to me, I mean, you'll know more than I do, Royce, here, but there's
I'm
nothing.
not that much older than you. Come on.
You have more experience. You have more experience, though. When I was in diapers with Legos, you were doing arm bars. You know what I'm saying?
We're all the same age, man. Come on.
man. You're the one still fighting, which is a good point. But there's nothing better. Like, knockouts are great. There's nothing better than breaking a guy. Because it's just him being like, you know what, you're just tougher.
And what has to get to that point? They've tried all their tricks, everything they can try. Maybe they've hit you with a great shot and it doesn't faze you. Is that the moment when you go, that other person goes, oh, well, I've just given them basically everything I've got and nothing is working?
Pretty much.
And are they just...
you can feel that he's, okay, I'm just going to try to finish this fight now.
So
there's no way I'm going to win.
It's to finish.
No matter how tired you are,
Right.
if you see that, you're like, oh, hell yeah, this thing's over.
Let me ask you one more thing. I've seen so many fights between MMA and boxing where guys, you're like, oh, that dude is spent, and they land one good shot, and then you can feel like you can see adrenaline rush through their body. Does that really? You can go from feeling exhausted, landing a good shot, and going, I got 15 seconds of an amazing flurry here. Or does that do you get reinvigorated once you land something like that?
I don't know, because I don't get that tired.
Right. Oh, you don't get tired.
He just goes.
He
man.
just goes.
Do you feel like because
As long as the fight goes, better it is for me. I increase the pace.
That's true.
Because you're wearing people down.
with his
Yep.
technique, jiu-jitsu, do you wish you could wear a gi in your upcoming fight? If it was up to you, would you rock a gi?
It depends of a strategy. Depends what Hoyle have as a strategy. So depend what he have the game plan. I just execute.
Yeah.
I just show up and do it.
We were arguing a little bit. Do you feel like in the UFC and Bellator, it's almost now, unless you're a guy like Damian Maia or yourself or these, Jacare, these super high-level jiu-jitsu guys, it's almost now guys are doing anti-jiu-jitsu. Because to get good at jiu-jitsu, it takes a long time. So now you have these wrestlers where they get into guard and they're just kind of shutting it down, where they're not taking so many risks. So I feel like to be a really good jiu-jitsu guy, we're not seeing it as much this day and age.
Yeah, that's what I tell if a boxer comes in to learn jiu-jitsu from me to fight. I'm going to tell him, dude, just learn the basics so you can survive on the ground. Bring the fight home.
Yeah.
Where is home? Stand up.
Yeah.
Get away. Stand up. Don't stay there and try to out-grapple like a grappler.
Yeah.
You see? So you got to play with the tools that he have.
And do you think Ken Shamrock is in the same kind of frame of mind there where he's just going to, obviously wrestling's his pedigree. He's not exactly a knockout artist, but do you think he's going to take you down and try to...
He got a mean right hand, too.
He's a big boy. He's a big boy.
He's
sure.
about, what, 10,
Yeah.
210, 215?
He's a big boy.
Solid, yeah.
How much of jiu-jitsu is thinking 5 moves in advance? Do you know, like, for someone who's never done it before, are you saying, do you ever say, well, I'm going to put my leg here because I know he's going to do this and then he's going to do this? You're thinking, is it something where you're thinking moves in advance?
I'm thinking it's an action-reaction game.
Uh-huh.
So the way I'm thinking is I'm going to hit you because I know you're going to bring your hand up so I can shoot in.
Right.
You see, it's like, okay, we start the fight, stand you up. I'm going to throw a right hand because I know you're going to cover your face, now shooting for your legs. So I'm already thinking on your reaction.
Right.
And I know you're going to sprawl. When you sprawl, I'm going to pull guard. So I'm already thinking in advance, but it's an action-reaction game.
So you have, and for you, it's so much, you've done it so many times, it's so much muscle memory, right? That your body is prepared for any 3 or 4 moves that he does. And it's all been muscle memory and just with training.
There's no time to think. The
Yeah,
automatic
just react.
pilot takes over.
And
It's
is this, in a perfect world, how's this fight go down for you? Quick? He shoots in, guillotine,
No.
jump on the cage?
You're going to enjoy this one.
You want this
You're going to
one?
enjoy this
Yeah.
one.
You want to drag him to the deep
I'm going to
end.
torture a little bit.
Yeah. And then is this a one-time thing or?
It's
are you
a
not-
one-time thing.
One-time thing.
I already heard people calling me out and calling the winner.
For sure, everyone
and
wants a piece
it's
of
like-
Royce Gracie, man.
I was like, hold on. Why you guys just want to fight the winner? You should have climbed the ladder. You should have fight the
Yeah.
loser first.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I as somebody now, and I have a kid, and we put him into martial arts really early for different reasons. So we put him into, I put him into Taekwondo just because they were mentally. The guy who I talked to compared martial arts to chess, right? He was like, you should get your kids into one of the two.
What are we talking about here? Taekwondo?
Yeah, Taekwondo, right? Martial arts or chess, right? Because it teaches your kids discipline and basically, for my son, learning those katas and all those moves helped him take tests.
Yeah.
Do you feel like jiu-jitsu is a good thing to get kids into, and why? Do you think it's a good discipline thing?
Any sport is
Yeah.
good for kids. Any of them. Soccer is going to have discipline to show up on time, to dress such a way, to go through the warm-ups, to do the practice, the runs, the game time. So basketball, same thing. Swimming, same thing. You teach the kids discipline.
And so you feel like, and what do you think that martial arts offers that maybe those other sports don't?
Self-defense.
Yeah.
When they go into a martial arts school, they're not thinking anybody, not just for the kids, for anybody. The first time they step into a martial arts school, they're not thinking about competing. They're not thinking about because I saw somebody competing in the UFC and I want to be like that person. I want to fight. No, you look for a martial arts school because something happened one time in your life and that got fire on the back of your head, and you're like, man, what if it was me? I was looking for a parking spot and the guy came out and talked to me such a way I didn't know how to react, how to defend myself. So you're looking for a self-defense type. Doesn't matter which martial art it is. When you walk into a martial arts school, you're not walking into thinking about competing, about going for the Olympics in Taekwondo or Jiu-Jitsu, the World Championships. You're not thinking about that. You never even heard of that,
right?
Of the no-gi competition. You don't even know what the no-gi competition. What do you mean? They show up naked? I don't want to do that. So people that don't know, they're not looking for that. They're looking for a martial art to defend themselves.
That makes sense.
So, but then they get into a school, and then the instructor, doesn't matter if it's boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo, wrestling, start to guide them into a competition, into MMA, and end up forgetting teaching people what they really want to learn is self-defense.
Self-defense.
I was talking to Callan on my way here, and brain trauma is a big subject in mixed martial arts, especially the older generation. You look at certain guys who we grew up watching, and not you. I take you out of this equation because you're fighting style. If I could have any old school guy's brain, it's gonna be you. You really didn't take that many hits. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really have brain
how many
trauma.
times I got punched.
So you would be a bad example if 100 years from now when you pass away, if they analyze your brain, they're like, this dude was fine.
You think
There's
he's
no-
gonna
He
be
was
dead
a
in
runner.
100?
He wasn't a fighter.
Yeah, he's just yeah.
You think he's gonna be dead in 100 years?
I don't
think
know,
so.
man. He's so damn healthy. I don't know, man. That acai or whatever.
I think he's gonna outlive
Yeah.
everybody.
But is it a concern at all to you, if your kids and grandkids fighting brain trauma? Because especially UFC 1, we're talking, 1993, we didn't even think of brain trauma. NFL, there's no brain trauma. It's all good, man. But now there's a lot more science behind it. There's a lot more research. It's not good to get hit in the face.
Well, MMA, comparing to boxing, you guys, we don't get hit that much. You count how many punches an MMA fighter takes to the head.
What do you mean, you guys?
You guys.
All the fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, man. You mean you? Yeah.
No. Most fighters don't count how many times you get punched on the head in one fight. And a boxer,
Yeah.
man, the boxing is just on the head all the time. The 12 rounds is on the head. The MMA, man, you get hit a couple of times. Yes, you take a clinch, you go to the ground. You don't get hit that much compared to boxing.
No, I get it. Neither one's great though for the brain. If football's terrible too. You look at all the contact sports, all of them, lead to brain trauma down the road.
But the main thing with jiu-jitsu is defense. We never train. It's not an offensive art. We don't train thinking, okay, I'm going to come in, I'm going to beat my opponent.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to lose to my opponent. So we learn a lot of defense. That's what most of the Gracies we learn is defense.
100%.
Offense comes, I win when the guy gives me a chance, when he makes a mistake.
So is a lot of jiu-jitsu patience? Like you're saying defense, and then you wait for your opponent to make a mistake.
It's patience, but I don't want to lose.
Right.
So I'm gonna wrap you up. I am afraid to take a hit. By
the way, that's smart.
I love guys that say, "Well, I don't mind taking a punch."
Those are guys that make money though.
We're perfect match because I don't mind punching them. We're made for each other.
We're made for each other, like peanut butter and jelly, man.
We're made for each
What
other.
a coincidence! I want to punch you in the face.
Yeah, you don't mind taking a hit. I
So
don't mind hitting you.
I walked into the Gracie Academy in Torrance, California, almost 5 years ago. And before then, I was learning jiu-jitsu, but a lot of it was very aggressive, offensive, submissions. And once I started training with Henner and Hiron, it was all defense, position, stuff. It was almost a new game.
Is there a because your body type doesn't? I've never seen like a straight jiu-jitsu guy with your body type. Is there a body type that's better or worse for jiu-jitsu?
Explain to Royler. Royler is short, small.
Right.
You see, half of my size and wrap me around and nods.
So it doesn't.
And then you get Renzo, and then you get Roger, who's
Right.
Roger's
double my
huge.
size, and wrap me around too. So it's like
so there isn't one that there isn't
no
a body
such a
type.
thing.
It's just
Especially
the discipline.
Now. No, yeah, especially now. I mean, these guys are like you said, Hodger, like a Buchecha, Hoyler, all these guys. They're all monsters.
Some are big, some are small, and they all.
Gary Tonin. I mean, he's
Awesome.
tiny and he's a monster.
Could he take you down?
100%. You rip my face off. Rip my face off, son. I'm a realist.
Yeah, me too. I've told you about my fight record.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you know, the last time I fought, I got hit twice. I got hit once in the forehead and then once in the back of the head. Because once he hit me in the forehead, I was like, fuck this.
And behind.
I tried to run away and he hit me one more time in the back of the head. And I was like, you won't catch me.
Hoist, do you?
That's the type of fighter I am right there. Two
One-
punches and
one
I'm
now.
gone.
Yeah. Hoist, do you feel like coming back in 2016 that the game has changed from a business standpoint? Because I'm sure at UFC 1, you didn't really need a manager. You really didn't need a guy doing sponsorships. Well, now it's a legit business. You're talking about huge companies. I mean, Spike, Viacom, it doesn't get much bigger, man. You're dealing with some big corporations now. So it's not like you can do it yourself.
I don't think it that way, but I have a very good manager.
Yeah, you'd have to.
So, but I don't think as a business. To me, it's just fun, man. It's just it's another day at the office.
That's awesome.
I mean, I spent about 7 months of the year traveling all over the world teaching,
doing seminars?
doing seminars. So the main thing is, and I love that, but I love being in camp, being at home and just training, taking care of myself.
Who are you training with for this camp? Are you bringing in anyone in particular, or is it you're just keeping it same old, same old?
Royler for the grappling, for the strategy, for the fight. Joe Schilling in the yard for the stand-up
Yeah,
part.
he's one of the best guys.
So, and I got James Strom, strength coach.
Yeah, I mean that's a legit camp. Joe Schilling, man, at the yard. Yeah, he's a good dude.
When you are on, again, I'm asking ignorant questions because I've never done it before. Is that okay?
Sure, man.
Okay. I mean, I'm
I direct him towards the left.
yeah,
You know.
I'm assuming that
I tell
every
dick jokes for a living. Now.
me too. What? I'm assuming everybody listening doesn't know everything about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So when you have somebody on the ground, and I've heard even Rogan say that you can have someone on the ground and it almost appears like you're not resting, but the energy that you're exerting is nowhere near the energy of your opponent. Why is that? Like, what is it about being the person who's holding as opposed to the person who's being held, right? That the other person has to exert so much more energy.
Okay.
Does this question make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We get in a fight, okay?
Yeah.
You get in a fight with somebody bigger and stronger than you. If you guys are standing up, okay, on the ground,
Yeah.
you guys are standing up, you punch the heavyweight. The heavyweight, he'll smile, and then he'll punch you back. He'll knock you out.
That's happened.
Now, twice, right?
Yeah.
He punched you twice. Yeah. Hit the ground. Okay, now, imagine yourself, you get in a clinch with this guy, run in, tackle him, and drive him into a pool. But he can't swim, and you can. So he's going to panic. He's going to try to use all kind of strength, but it doesn't matter. He's sinking, he's drowning, but you're comfortable right there in the pool because you know how to swim, you know how to hold your breath, you know how to move around him. So that's pretty much the comparison.
And that makes sense.
Once I go to the ground, if I know more than you, I can rest. I'm comfortable.
Right.
That's his world.
So, and that's the thing. Like, I understand this. So, when you panic, the adrenaline spikes. You obviously you're tired
He's
faster,
been there 100 times.
and that's it. So, when you're on the ground, you feel like you're calm, you're relaxed, and that's your world. You're in control of what's about to happen.
I can play defense. I can defend myself from getting, if I'm on top, if I'm on the bottom, from getting hit by you and then hitting you back just to make you exhaust yourself. It's not because I'm going to knock you out.
Right.
If I could, I would have
It's a
knocked you out,
strategy,
but
yeah.
it's just to hit you so you can't stop. It's like, oh my, I'm getting hit. Oh man, I'm getting cut. I'm getting hit. And you start to panic more and more, and you taking hits, and you just.
Then they make mistakes, and that's where Hoist chokes you on.
So that's what.
So, Hoist, yeah, pretty much. Hoist, do you feel like with especially with the judging of MMA lately, as a jiu-jitsu guy, being on your back, you don't get a lot of points. Even if you're threatening the guy like crazy, throwing elbows, if I'm a wrestler, I take you down, the judges view that as a win. So let's say, for whatever reason, you take Ken down, he reverses, and he's on top, but you're throwing triangle, omoplata, your guillotine's getting up, creating all these scrambles. If he's on top, in this day and age in MMA, he's still winning the round. Would you like to see a change in
That's fine.
judging?
He can win the round as long as I go home with my face clean
Yeah.
and his face is all bust up. I'll give him the fight. Go ahead.
Yeah.
He's 40 pounds heavier than me.
Yeah, he's a big
with
boy.
the face all bust up,
Yeah.
broken nose, cut, but he won. Lovely victory.
He won the sport.
Go ahead, you can take it.
Yeah. You won the
I'll
fight.
walk
He
away.
won the competition. A question I've always wanted to ask. I talked a little bit about Henner about it, but you being
Hold
a
on.
UFC fighter.
I'm not playing for the points. I'm playing to beat him up.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I
I'm
don't
well
care
aware of
about
that.
the points.
Oh, I'm well
points.
aware.
This referees, judges, I don't care.
Yeah, no,
I'm
he
playing
could win the
to-
competition.
yeah.
You're playing to win the
To
fight.
beat him up.
To beat him up. Yeah. Yeah. For you, it's different. Growing up with Gracie and with your guys' history, did you feel the pressure? Was there a pressure of being a Gracie? Like, is that why? Obviously, because if you're a Gracie and let's say you're super into fashion, you decide to start a women's clothing line.
Being
You're
a Gracie,
Helios, you might come on.
being a Gracie can be a blast, or it can be a curse.
Yeah, blast meaning if you're
Blast, if you fight, if you know. I mean, even if you don't fight, at least you have to know. That's what my father said. You don't have to fight. My father didn't build fighters. My father built instructors. He built us to teach. Fighting is just, we got nothing else better to do, so we don't get dressed up for nothing. Let's go pick a fight. But
Can you
But to
imagine?
fight for fun, yeah, that wasn't the plan.
That
Like
wasn't-
I asked Henry, he's like, why would you fight? Why would you want to get punched in the face? That doesn't make sense.
my father built instructors. He
Yeah.
taught us how to teach. We just have a question. Which style is the best? Who's the best fighter? Let's try. It's a quest. It's a challenge for ourselves.
But most people felt like that was some maybe a burden, some, like you said, is a gift. But man, if I'm not into fighting, my name's Gracie, and I roll up to Starbucks and I see a guy who looks like you and last name Gracie, I'm like, why the fuck don't you have a gi on? Why are you giving me coffee? Where did you go wrong?
That's what,
He's the one who's
You know what I'm
calling. He's the one who's calling you Brandon. What do you do now?
Yeah, it's like if you're Michael Jordan's son and you suck at basketball, it's gonna be a rough go, my man.
That's why it could be a curse. So my father said, you don't have to fight, you don't have to teach, you have to at least know how to defend yourself, because people will pick on you. People will say, so you're Gracie. Let's see what you got.
Yeah, because
You better know how to do it.
Can you imagine?
So you don't have to follow the profession. My father never enforced us to become a fighters or teachers, but you have to know.
And do you stick to that Gracie diet?
Oh yes,
Yes,
all the way.
all the way.
What if you were like
insane.
a burglar, and you broke into the wrong house? You broke into the Gracie house. You
Better have some takedown
You didn't do your
defense.
research, and you and like you're in like a drawer, and you don't. All you hear is just the front door lock, and you turn around and there's just 3 Gracies
It
by the
did
front door.
happen
Like,
before.
sorry, you broke into the wrong house, dude.
Yeah, bro.
We're about to
have some fun.
We're about to. We've been practicing some new moves, so you don't mind hanging around for a little while.
It happened before. My father and my uncle
Really?
came home, and they used to live at the studio, and they in Brazil, and they arrived and they found a burglar inside the place.
Poor guy. I actually feel
hiding.
bad for a
So
burglar.
they told the guy, hey, you have a choice. We can call the cops, you're going to get arrested, or you can pick one of us and fight. If you fight, win or lose, you get out of here. You can go home. So the guy's like, all right, okay, I'll choose the fight. I'll duke it out.
Which one did he? Who did he
Chose
choose?
my father. Halfway through the beat, he's like, call the cops, call the cops.
Give me the old guy. Give me the old guy. You guys like, yeah.
know
He
he
picked
felt
my father
confident.
because my father was the youngest and he was the skinniest one. So he picked my father. My father was the youngest of all the brothers. So
you
he
know
picked
that
my
the burglar was like, I'm walking out of here with loot,
Yeah.
and I'm kicking somebody's ass.
It's gonna be a good night
Yeah,
tonight.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So that didn't go
insane,
didn't go
man.
well for him.
Call the cops, please. Halfway through, took a beating and got arrested.
That's a tough day. You break it.
go.
Yeah, you think you're walking out with your manhood, and it's just.
Henzo was just not too long ago. He was on Twitter tweeting as
Henzo.
he's beating up the guy in New York, a
Yes.
burglar in
What?
New York.
Henzo,
was
who's
just-
if you've never met Renzo, they've only made one Renzo of all time. He might be the greatest guy on earth.
Okay.
Yes, he was beating a guy up and texting,
tweeting.
What? Like I'm whooping this dude's ass.
No.
Like
I'm joking him. Like,
Hilarious. That's a great Snapchat story right there.
dude, Renzo's another level. Man.
That, by the way, to have the presence of mind, by the way, that's how confident you are that you're about to win that fight. And to have the presence of mind to be like, I'm tweeting this shit.
That's Renzo.
That's
crazy.
That's Renzo, man. There's no one better. Dude, I can't believe no one's made a
That's
Gracie
insane.
reality show. I can't believe no one's made, because there's so many different personalities. You look at Renzo, you look at you look at Florian, you look at Henner, you know, all these different stories.
And
it's like a soap opera.
And then we can have
How
a
has
death
no
match.
one, fuck the Kardashians.
We can have
How
a
has
death
no
match.
one
A death
made
match.
Gracie.
Gracie's versus Kardashians to a death match. That'd be
I'm
great.
in for
I would
that.
pay-per-view that. That would be great. It would be Henzo versus all of them.
yep.
How, yeah,
We could go Henzo versus Yeezy.
it's true, man. How into UFC and Bellator are you? Like, do you not miss a fight? Do you stay away from it?
No, I watch it. I watch the most likely. I mean, mostly I watch the champions, the belt.
Well, if there's a major
Yes.
pay-per-view, you'll watch it.
Yes.
Is there a fighter
Title
that?
shots. I like to watch that. And
Is there a fighter
I like to
that
watch
you
the champions because they know how to use strategy.
Mm.
You see, so instead, sometimes the new guys, the upcoming guys, they just come in to duke it out. They're not. They just want to put
That's
up
what
a
people
show.
want, though, right? They want that
Instead,
show. I agree.
I prefer to watch guys. That's why they're the champions.
I agree.
Because they know how to use strategy. They make the fight look easy sometimes. Win in 30 seconds. It wasn't easy.
When you were fighting in UFC 1, did you ever imagine that women would be fighting, doing the same thing you are?
No.
Never. Yeah. I don't think
I
anyone
didn't
did.
imagine. No.
I mean, what? 8 years ago, even Dana was like, "Nah, women will never fight in the UFC."
But we talked earlier about this sport, out of any sport that I can remember, has evolved more and more quickly from where it started to now. It's so different. Like we talk about, football's evolved a little bit just because the athletes have evolved, but it's still basically the same game. This sport is like incredibly different.
Well, think of it. Has there been any sport that's been created while you were alive? Not really. Football's been around forever. Basketball's been around forever. Hockey's been around forever.
Hoverboard, basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only one I got. That's the only
But
one.
in general, you know, MMA we saw grow from 1993 to the Ultimate Fighter
Yeah.
with Forrest and Bonner. You know, that was on Spike. That fight, it created this whole world. It started with Royce. And then that Ultimate Fighter finale, it was like, dude, you got to watch this. Dude, you got to watch this. And it was just.
Why do you think it's so much more popular than boxing? Why do you think the sport is?
That's debatable.
Look, in the world, it may not be. In the world,
In pay-per-view would beg to differ.
yeah, I understand that, but I think pay-per-view also takes into the amount of people from different countries who are, if it's a Hispanic fighter, right?
I agree.
Right? Okay.
MMA in general is bigger.
Bigger. So what is it you think about this sport right now that's so much more captivating than a boxing match?
It's because it's a dream that who is the best fighter, not just in one sport.
Right.
It's combine all the martial arts together. Who is the best fighter? Who is the best? Get the best boxer, put him in a cage with the best karate guy, put him in a cage against the best taekwondo, the best judo player, the best jiu-jitsu. It's all of them together. It's not just one single one.
Plus, I think when people watch boxing, you know, it's an art form. It's a dance.
Yeah.
There's not too many people who's like, oh yeah, I've boxed before. Maybe some hit pads. Everyone's been in a fight, whether it was in the playground, high school, college, at a bar. You've been in a fight, so everyone.
I never have never been in a
Yeah.
fight. I did never fight on the street.
With your brothers?
My brothers, but we
That's
grapple.
what I'm saying.
When we
Yeah.
fight, we grapple at home.
Because you're all black belts.
But-
in jail,
fight on the street.
yeah, you guys settled in
Yeah.
with
Sorry.
Rogo
I don't know what you're
shit.
talking about.
I'm just saying in general.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
people
Fight
can
in a
relate
bar.
to
I never
fight.
fought
Like,
in a
everyone
bar.
understands a fight.
So that's
Like,
what
everyone
it is.
understands a fight. It doesn't matter what language you speak. We all
Right.
understand a fight. A fight's a fight. Boxing's different.
Is there a discipline outside of the one that you have mastered that you wish that you had started earlier, or is there a discipline where you're like, oh, that one I'm really interested in learning more about?
Shooting. I wish
Yeah.
I would start earlier.
Shooting guys?
Shooting.
Like,
Guns. I'm a big favorite.
why do you need a gun?
Oh, I love shooting. I
Like
love
shooting clay or
shooting
hunting
target.
people?
I just shot this past weekend. Amy Jane took me to Darren Butler.
Yeah.
Man, shot 10 targets, double tap every single one of them in 7.63 seconds.
damn? Navy SEAL
Wow.
6 over here.
Holy shit.
That means 20 rounds in less than 8 seconds.
What is it about it you like so much?
Oh, it's the concentration, the speed, the man, everything.
Start
working,
hunting.
Foot.
Why don't you start hunting stuff? That's what you want to do?
I don't know about hunting.
So it seems like you like the discipline that goes into
take
that.
me to hunting, man. But
Yeah, we'll see what
I don't
happens.
know,
You never-
yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know about
Dude,
that.
I don't know about that. Now,
Yeah.
before we get you out of here, and you can skip this question, whatever you want to do. Why Bellator over UFC? Why? How do you choose?
Why?
Yeah, you have
That's
UFC.
simple.
Is it?
They made me an offer.
So
Yeah.
for you, it was about whoever just brought,
They made me an offer.
and the UFC didn't.
They didn't.
And so, but how was it?
They had the Bellator. Scott Coker had a vision.
So
Why
it
not
was Scott
bring
Coker's idea to
why
bring
not bring
Royce back.
the old guys back and one more time? Who would not love to see Mike Tyson fight Holyfield one more time?
Oh, I would. I
They're
would.
still both in good shape.
Yeah.
They're still in shape. They're not.
I would like to
sitting
he-
at home doing nothing.
I would like to hear them
They
get in a
still-
verbal debate first. Because
Yes.
I think that would be the real battle. Just hearing Evander get 2 sentences out would be the best part. If he could, we'd declare him the winner. Just say 2 things in English, and we're going to declare you the winner. Ready, go. No? Okay.
He's gonna come over here next week. Yeah, right. He's gonna come out. I'm not saying that.
So for you,
That was him over there.
so for you, it wasn't even a decision. Spike made the offer. I'm going. Bellator's the answer.
I mean, I saw Ken Shamrock fight Kimbo,
Yes.
and then Ken's keep calling me out.
What did you think of that fight? Because
Ken
it
had
looked a little
very good-
fishy.
Ken had a very good strategy. I thought Ken was gonna plant his feet and duke it out with Kimbo, trying to be a tough man competition.
Yeah, terrible idea.
But nah, he actually had a very good strategy,
Yeah,
man.
got his
Took him
back.
down
Mhm.
twice, got on his back. He just Kimbo being a beast, man. Just ripped his hands off the choke and got up. One hit from Kimbo, man. Fight was over.
How much of
But the
fighting?
strategy was good.
Yeah, really good.
How much of fighting though, for both of you guys, is I'm going to do what I do, and he needs to adapt to that, or is it?
It's everything.
Or is it he does this, so I'm going to do that? Do you know, do you go in going, I'm going to make him adapt to my game, or are you cognizant of this is what he does, and so I'm going to counter that?
People ask all the time, I mean, what's your strategy for this fight? Well, my strategy, I'm going to come in, I'm going to throw 1-2 punch combination, I'm going to double leg him, take him down, mount on him, throw a couple elbows, he's going to turn around, and I'm going to choke him. That's not a strategy. That's a wish.
Right.
I wish the fight goes that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Strategy is knowing what is he going to do, figure out what is he going to do, so I can take him out of his game.
Boom.
That
Let's.
makes sense.
We got a bunch of fan questions for him. Before we get you out of here, we'll have you answer these fan questions. What do you got, Ev?
Let's jump into some
We had
of
a
these
bunch
right now.
of them.
Oh, let me pull these up. All right. First one. Do you think jiu-jitsu would have been as big if you would have lost those first few fights in the UFC?
Yes, because we're not Gracie is not a family; it's a factory, man. There's many more Gracies that would have come back and do it. You see, would have do it. Would not stop there.
So if it wasn't you, it would have been Poiler or
Damn, he
Enter
said
or
not
any
a
other
family, it's a
one.
factory, son. Yeah, that's what he
That would be
said.
him,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You see, there would be a right the way. There would be another one that would have come over and you see and would do it.
For sure. All right, next fan question. How do you feel about the UFC at its current state along with the Reebok deal?
I'm not with the UFC, so I don't know much about the Reebok deal. Bellator, hey, it's awesome.
Is
got
Bellator free
sponsors.
for all? You can have any
Yes,
sponsors,
you can
basically?
have sponsors. Yep. So I got plenty of sponsors. So
Good for you.
they treat me good.
Killing the game. Well, that's why Ben Henderson went over there. you know?
Yeah.
Good for you. What do you got?
All right, next one. Do you think BJJ has become Americanized and lost authenticity with its popularity?
Is it too commercial now?
Well, it's happening not just here in America, but in Brazil the same way. They're forgetting the art of self-defense by competing for a medal, for a tournament. So a lot of the guys that, like I said, they come in thinking the student comes in to learn the art of self-defense. And they get to the school, the instructor guide them to a tournament. But I don't want to compete. Well, you have to compete. If not, you can move belts. You can get your next belt. It's like become a, yes.
So,
But it's all over the world like that. And
but what do you think when you say that they're not teaching them self-defense? What are they leaving out? Like, what is it about the training
More
that they're
sport
the
centric
fight
now?
doesn't start on the ground. The fight starts by defending a punch. It starts by if somebody grab you in a headlock. You see, you're out and somebody decide to push you.
Mhm.
It doesn't start in a grappling match. No punches, no. You see, it starts by you gotta know how to defend a punch. A lot of the guys out there don't learn that. And a lot of schools do not teach. Oh no, that's too violent. Really?
That's the
learning
first
martial art.
Yeah.
You gotta learn how to defend yourself from a punch. Somebody grabs you in a headlock. A lot of people don't know how to defend themselves on that. And simple thing. Somebody grabs in a headlock, take you to the ground. They can't escape. They don't know how to do it. Why? Because they're too concerned on learning a point system. Score a point. I score a point and I win. I score a advantage. What's advantage?
On the streets, son.
There's no point system. It's like somebody, they emphasize so much on competing on a weight division. So that means somebody pinch your girl from behind, you're going to go, hold on, honey, I'll take care of this. Excuse me, how much do you weigh? Sorry, honey, he's not on my division. I can't fight him. Really?
That makes sense. What
Yeah.
else you got, Ev?
All right, Royce, what would you change about the MMA scene today?
Nothing. I think it's good the way it is. It's even for both fighters. So it had to be done that way. The rules have to come in play to become a show, to become all over the world. It's not, I would prefer without rules, without time limit, no weight division, but then it can be on televised. You can't do a show that way. So 5 rounds of 5 minutes is long enough for somebody that have not been there. Man, try one day. You're going to see how much 25 minutes.
Eternity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
like forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or 15 minutes. Try that.
a
Or
long
5
time.
minutes. Getting punched. Yep.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, what do you think about jiu-jitsu getting watered down as it gains popularity? Examples would be early promotions, lower belts opening schools, that sort of thing.
Lower belt open up schools. As long as he knows how to teach. You see, some people are great teachers just because they never fought, but they can teach the art. As long as he knows how to teach, doesn't matter. Now, getting promoted early and the watered down becomes, okay, the Taekwondo, you have to know the katas for you to get promoted. Because I'm a good boxer, I walk into a Taekwondo school and I knock everybody out, doesn't make me a black belt in Taekwondo. So I have to learn the katas. So yes, a lot of people water it down because they learn the sport part, but they don't know the self-defense part.
All right, and we'll do one more. Do you think having all of these different grappling tournaments like Abu Dhabi, Polaris, EBI, Metamoris, etc., are a good sign of growth in the sport, or are there too many of them now?
It's good, but I'm against tournament.
You're against the format?
I'm against tournaments. Martial art in general was not built for a point system. Taekwondo, let's use Taekwondo, was not built for you to score a point. Tag you,
touching, yeah.
I touch you, I score the point. It's like, what is it teaching the fighter? How not to hit somebody. Taekwondo or any martial art will build all of them. Doesn't matter which one is better than the other. They're built to defend yourself in a street fight situation, not to score a point.
That's it for fan questions.
That's super interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, super interesting. I've never thought about it like that. But as a business, I get it with the competitions. But as a purist, your view definitely makes sense, especially.
It's a lot of the schools out. Most of the schools out there teach point system. Now you go to the school, for instance, my cousins in Miami, the Valente brothers, got what 500-600 students.
They're the best, the nicest guys ever.
They don't compete, they don't teach, they don't fight, but they teach the guys how to defend themselves in a street fight situation.
Yeah.
What points? There's no points.
Not in a street fight, there are.
Not in a street fight.
Boom.
Yeah,
Well,
you know what? But by the way, that idea has permeated and kind of dripped into other things. You know, even in regular schools, like my kids' schools, they teach kids how to test, but they don't teach them to learn. Like, right? So in order for at your kid's school here in Los Angeles, they basically teach a class so you score well on tests, but they teach at such a pace that 2 weeks later you don't remember what you just learned.
Mm-hmm.
They're teaching you
passing that.
They're teaching you how to take the test. They're not teaching you how to learn, which is the same kind of what you're saying.
Similar. Yeah.
They're teaching you how to score a point. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? They're not
Give
teaching you how to
themselves
defend
the-
yourself.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That's why I don't let school interfere with my kids' education. Wait, who said that?
All right, man. We've kept you long enough. We've kept you long enough. We know you got a big fight coming up. It's the 19th, so it's coming up February 19th.
19th.
Spike TV.
Where'd you just take that phone out of?
Ken Shamrock. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's ninja shit.
Yeah. Oh my Lord.
We got a video here.
What do you got?
Oh, this is you shooting. Damn, Rambo. Dang.
That sounded like a video game that
Brazilian
was so good. I know.
Forget American Sniper. We got Brazilian Sniper. That's your new
Whoa.
nickname.
Yeah.
Hoist the Brazilian Sniper, Gracie. All right, brother. We'll get you out of here. February 19th, Ken Shamrock, Spike TV, Bellator. You guys know where to find him. He's the legend, the living legend. Hoist, we can't thank you enough, my man.
My
Thanks for
pleasure.
stopping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hoist Gracie, man, one of the legends.
It's crazy.
Is good, right?
Yeah.
He's a good dude. Now, I would never disrespect a legend like Royce Gracie, but maybe I'm in the minority here. I don't want to see Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson.
No.
I don't want to see Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock fight.
No, because
I'm not that guy.
Well,
And I'm not throwing him under the bus. I hope he does well. I hope the ratings are great. That's all fine and dandy. He's earned the right to fight. I'm just saying as a guy who looked up to Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock as a kid and went on to have my own UFC career, I want to remember those guys as legends. I don't want to see, I don't want to see Michael Jordan and Matt Johnson play basketball right now with their nuts down to their ankles.
But that's the thing. You want the would you say nuts down their ankles?
Yeah, man.
I mean, they couldn't have been wearing the shorts. Magic, you would have to wear longer shorts.
Hey, Bird, try wearing those shorts and shooting a jumper that you wore back then. Your fucking dick is gonna hang out the
those
front.
shorts are like crazy. Like they are. John Stockton's were the worst.
Dude, John Stockton. You know what? They make sense though. If you do, like I wear when I was fighting, especially training, I wore tight, short shorts.
Uh-huh.
It's better to move. It makes sense. And then they did like probably 5-6 years ago. Then they went to baggy shorts again. Which
Yeah.
that makes sense. And then LeBron is the guy who brought back the tighter shorts.
Let me ask you something, because I've always wondered this. When you're grappling with somebody and you're on the ground,
Yeah.
isn't there ever a point where you're like, no, that's his asshole. It's kind of right near my face.
Not really. I mean, it's because you're not even in that state of mind. Not really, unless they just smell like I've grappled with guys where they just smell like pure shit, and it's just like God.
Do they ever do that?
God.
Would you ever do that going into a ring? You're like, I'm not going to shower for fucking 4 weeks. And I'm going to smell and I'm going to eat a whole onion before my breath's going to be bad. I'm not going to wipe my ass for 2 weeks.
If you're thinking that's the way you're going to win a fight, you're probably going to get knocked out pretty fast.
Well,
but
listen,
I'll tell you what, Crow Cop didn't smell great and Andre Arlovsky didn't smell great. I'll go on record saying that.
Really?
They both smelled like pure.
I think I would
They smelled exactly how you'd think a Russian and a Croatian would
right.
smell.
But I'm saying I think I would try to gain whatever Like if you started grappling with me and your like reaction was like if you were doing that, like I think you would be like, well, I don't think I'm gonna stand
It'd
up.
have to be so bad though. It'd have to be so. A lot of times, guys, and anyone who does jiu-jitsu or trains gym, you know those guys who don't wash their gis or wash their workout gear, and they think they're all right, but then once they start sweating again, it releases like this crazy odor to another level where you're like, come on.
Like the inside of your gloves.
I've never been that guy.
What,
I can't do that.
You asked him about his gi, and would he want to fight in the gi?
Yeah, I thought for sure he'd say yes.
Why?
I was trying to get something.
What's the advantage
going
for
on.
him? What's the advantage for him to fight in the gi?
A gi to him is like.
Yeah, but can't people grab that easier?
Go ahead and grab it. See what happens. He grew up in a gi, so a gi for him is what he knows, and he can use it to manipulate the gi to choke you with it. He can do all sorts. He's way better than a gi without a gi. So a gi for him is like if we're fighting and I have a knife, and you don't have a knife. That's how big of an advantage he has if he wore a gi.
I would think it was the opposite. Like if you were fighting with long hair and somebody had something to grab onto.
Not with that guy.
Really?
Like he said, it would be like, if you can't swim and we jump in the water. He's very, very, that's his world. So you put a gi on him and you find him in a gi, he's going to fuck you up 10 times worse than if he was no gi.
It's the exact opposite of what I would have thought.
Nope. That's why I want something out of him. Like, something,
I wanted to know, I wasn't looking for shooting a gun. I wanted to know what fight discipline he would have been interested in trying to do at a younger age I mean, because he did mention that like striking isn't his
forte. But it can't be when you're that good at jiu-jitsu. When you grow up as a Gracie, you're striking. You're not going to be an elite level striker.
Can you imagine breaking into that house and just thinking you're going to beat up some old man?
Dude, honestly, I can't. Like, I was trying to get him to touch the surface on a little bit. I can't imagine growing up a Gracie.
I know.
Like, again, it's the same. It's whatever. Like, you ever seen Magic Johnson's son?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that guy is about as straight as this kettlebell.
Yeah. No, he's
about as straight as a bowling ball.
No.
He is,
yeah.
And we're not talking like, oh, your son's gay. We're talking like he's like, hey,
I think
full dress,
the gay. He's the gay.
Like if you saw him, you'd be like, oh, he's on fire. Gay.
Yeah.
Like like, oh, he's flaming gay. Mm-hmm. No, he's on fire. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not homophobic at all. Do your thing, dog. However,
by the way, his name should be Magic.
I agree.
That would make more sense.
What's your
name?
Mike.
It's Magic.
I agree.
What's your name? It's Magic.
Oh, dude, that's brilliant. Magic Jr.
Yes.
But if you look at his family, it's like Magic. His son, I think, is a GM for the Dodgers. But then the other son, has the height, he has the body, just like his dad. Mm-hmm. I mean, he is just he's bouncing nuts off his chin, not basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like look him up, brother. And
why are there going to be pictures of that?
I don't know. And he had his own show on E. Listen, I'm not bashing him for he's gay. I'm just saying if you're Magic Johnson's son, you have that
a lot
height
of pressure.
And you look like him. There's gonna be a lot of pressure to fucking dribble a basketball and be damn good at it. So as a Gracie, man, you better be able to fight.
But at the same time, don't you think it's like almost easier? Because when you go into the ring with the name Gracie, don't you think you're intimidating people a little bit? If you go, you're fighting a Gracie, automatically you think, well, this dude knows
jiu-jitsu
and more than me.
Probably, but at the same time, as that fighter as a Gracie, you better be good at jiu-jitsu. You better be great at jiu-jitsu. Same like Michael Jordan's son never panned out for basketball.
Right.
Imagine the pressure. Your dad being the greatest man to ever touch a basketball.
You know why I don't feel bad for him? Because I'm sure his trust fund's okay. So I don't feel terrible
Maybe
for Michael
his
Jackson.
Dad's a dick.
Okay, let me ask you a question. We're talking about walking into the ring ahead of time, getting somebody in your brain. Does that happen in fighting?
What do you mean?
Like, does any of that pre-fight hype, the yelling at each other, the who your opponent is, does any of that seep in?
Yeah, for certain guys, for sure. The mind games, for sure. I wish we would ask Royce about it because.
Well, can you ever think back from a fight where you like, he had me beat a little bit before the fight?
It's never happened to me. The only fight where I had where it was a lot of shit talk, it was the Mitrione fight, and I won in the first round, ended up choking him out in the first round, but we were friends before that. And I think he fought a little emotional because of the shit talk. Mm-hmm. But you look at a guy like...
explain what that means and how you can tell that happens.
Well, a guy like a vet who's not emotionally invested is going to fight calm, relax, stick to a game plan. A guy who hates your guts is going to say, fuck this game plan. I'm going to kill this guy and beeline for you. Via Conor McGregor, Jose Aldo. Conor McGregor talked so much shit. Jose Aldo wanted to rip his face off.
Right.
So you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be relaxed. You're not going to be in the right frame of mind. You're going to rush at him. Ronda Rousey, Holly Holm. Ronda was very emotional. She fights very emotional. She runs straight forward until you fight a world-class stand-up artist who's like, oh, that's cool. You don't want to rush forward? Kick to the face.
So
fight emotional or playing emotional, any of that, there's really no room for it in sports.
have you ever then, because you say it hasn't happened to you, but have you ever stepped in the ring and before the fight looked at the guy and been like, oh, I've already beat him? Do you know what I mean? Have you ever seen defeat?
On the Ultimate Fighter, I have.
You have?
Yeah, that's when guys have like 3-4 fights. I knew a few guys that I fought in there. I looked down and was like, oh, I'm going to beat. This guy's already beat.
How can you tell?
There's just a look, man. Between athletes, there's a look. You can look at him and just be like, oh, he's so fucking scared.
Football too?
No.
Not for football.
Football, I couldn't tell.
But with fight, you can see it in
you
someone's
tell.
face. What
It's
is
different. It's one-on-one.
Is it their body posture?
It's just their look. You can tell by it's a look.
And
it's
when
hard to
they
explain.
when they start to fight, you can tell they're fighting timid.
They're fighting scared and they're throwing caution to the wind and they're just, fight or flight there and they're just throwing wild and you're like, oh no.
By the way, that describes Tyson's last couple fights.
Yes.
That's
Also,
interesting
if
because
they're
he just
terrified.
came in. Basically, now that you're saying that, it's almost like he wanted the fight to be over one way or the other. Yep. I'm going to throw a punch and either knock you out or you're going to knock me out, but I want to be out of this fucking ring.
100%.
That's interesting.
I've had fights, and I've talked about it before, where I'm in the back, and even when I'm in the ring, I'm like, God, I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I've had fights where I'm like, is there any way we can move this till tomorrow? It's like if you're a NASCAR driver, I promise you there's days on Daytona 500, whatever the fucking event is, they're like, damn, I don't feel like driving today. But they hop in the car and they get the job done. In my line of work, if you don't feel like fighting, good chance you're going to get fucked up.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, especially the Ultimate Fighter finale when I fought Roy Nelson, I looked at my coach. I'm like, God, I wish we could move this tomorrow. He's like, why? I'm like, I just don't feel like doing it right now. It's literally it's like if you enjoy ice cream, you want to, it's like, but if you work at Ford, there's some days you're like, dude, this is dope. And then some days like, God, I don't feel like slanging cars today.
I will tell you, for me, that does happen with stand-up. Right? Say you go on the road and you have 6 shows a weekend, there's going to be one show where you're like, fuck. But I think the difference is that once I step on the stage, that goes away. Does that happen once you get in the ring, it goes away?
For most, if you can get comfortable, the problem is at heavyweight, there's no warm-up. There's no, all right, let me feel this guy out. You're usually, when you don't feel like it, if that guy's raring to go, he's probably going to knock you out. But because, that second round, you start to get a sweat. You're like, all right, I'm fine. We'll figure this out. I do this all the time. In the heavyweight division, it's kind of like when I fought Ben Rothwell, who's killing the game right now. The game plan was to take him down, wear him out, then go to work in the late second, third round.
Yeah. You sure you haven't been hitting that a lot?
Yeah, right? And before I go in, my coach goes, hey, remember, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And I remember like, God, I don't want to do this. I'm like, yep, you got it, man. I go in, I throw a spinning elbow, rock him. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And I rush in and he clips me. Now, if I'm a lighter guy or, fighting maybe a different guy, not so heavy-handed, I could have learned and got in a rhythm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So heavyweight, you better be ready to go. Well, or the only way you're going to get out of there is,
That's interesting. So when you say feeling, because I listen to guys and they commentate boxing and MMA, they're spending the first couple minutes feeling each other out. Does that really, but haven't you studied that person enough where you don't have to feel them out, you kind of know what they do? Or are you really just seeing how fast they are?
Yeah, well, you're talking to a guy who, I didn't have a ton, I had 20-something fights, but even I was never comfortable. Like there's some guys, you look at John Jones, you look at a guy like Conor McGregor, which is insane. When they're in there, they're home. They're comfortable. Yeah. I've never been in there where I was like, oh, here we go.
This really?
Is home. And I was like, this is foreign as fuck.
Yeah.
For sure, figure something out else to do. I've never been I was never like, oh, it's home base, baby. This is what we do. I was like, oh fuck!
What the fuck am I doing?
Get me out of here!
You know what's interesting? Do you watch Real Sports at all?
Oh yeah.
Did you see the story on Tyson Fury?
Yes, we talked about it a little bit on this.
Fascinating.
Amazing. How much of a fan are you of him now?
I'm
you
so
not be a
much
fan?
more of a fan than I was
Did you
before.
watch him beat Klitschko?
Yes.
He got on the mic and started singing.
Singing
to his girl.
Aerosmith?
Dude, he can sing a little bit.
By the way, I'm
not mad at his voice.
Yeah, me neither. And you know what? The balls it took to do that.
In
I
front of the world,
loved it.
I was like, "Get it, son!"
Yeah.
He might be my favorite fighter right now.
By the way, and the shit that he talked leading up, that was my favorite part. You're boring. He would just tell him
wasn't wrong either.
he was like, "You're boring."
Dude, it's a great story.
Hey, but that's interesting because what reminded me of that is that he did say, "I'm most comfortable in the ring. I don't fight for the glory. I don't fight for the money. I fight because I love to
The best
fight."
fighters are like that. If you talk to Anderson Silva, Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, the Diaz brothers, the very Cain Velasquez, the very, very best guys are like that.
Really?
I've never been that way. Yeah.
You know what struck me, like when Brock Lesnar was fighting?
He definitely isn't that way either.
I know. You know what always struck me when he walked in the ring was I was like, oh, this dude is Tyson. If he hasn't beat you mentally, he was so gregarious and so tough guy about it. I was like, well, anybody who's putting themselves out like that in that manner is hiding something. And he never really.
I've been on the same card. I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah.
I've been on the same card as him in Anaheim and in Vegas. And when he fought Cain, I fought Gabriel Gonzaga. When he fought Shane, I fought his training partner, Chris Tushisher. And I've been in the back, when Brock Lesnar's warming up, stuff like that. It's not like, oh, let's go fucking kill this guy. Not in the least bit. I mean he's one of the most nervous I've ever seen. Into a point where they're talking and walking out there.
But that's what I think you could tell. Like anybody, he was trying to cover it so much. Physically, is he as gifted as as he was being portrayed to be?
If Brock Lesnar decided to focus on MMA full time before he did WWE or football, he'd be the greatest mixed martial artist of all time.
Why do you say that? The combination of power and
power, speed, a smart guy, markability. You're looking at a completely different animal.
But it goes to the point what you just said, which is especially in fighting, you have to love it, don't you? To be great,
especially fighting. Because the chances you making a lot of money aren't good. The grind is like nothing else. There's no off season. There's no sheer way to get there. Like if I'm a football player, I'm good in high school. I'm getting recruited. I go to college.
Right.
College, there's NFL scouts. I get ready for the combine. I do the combine to go to the NFL. There's the path you go down.
Right.
UFC, good luck.
And they're not drafting fighters.
There's no draft.
So it's so much. You have to love it because there's so much hustle in the lower.
The grind is so real. Even in the UFC, I think the average salary is $32,000.
Stop it.
No, I'm pretty sure I saw a number. The average salary is I'm almost positive it's $32,000.
So then, for a guy like,
is real, my man.
Do you think then we'll see more CM Punks and football players, guys that can step in, already have some notoriety, so they'll get bumped up and get a chance to get some fights?
I think it depends how well CM Punk does. If CM Punk goes in and gets smoked, all those guys with their name are like, fuck that. You see, he got embarrassed. You see that? Because CM Punk's known as a tough guy, right?
Yeah.
To the wrestling fans. He goes in and gets murked in a minute. They're like, fuck.
Have you
This is embarrassing.
heard anything about his training or anything? You have any?
I know he's with one of the best camps in the world. I think he's bit off more than he can chew. The guy that he's fighting just won his fight in first round submission. So, it's not like they're throwing him to the wolves. He's fighting a guy who has one fight in the UFC. So he's set up for best case scenario. So I'm saying if that doesn't work, you're not going to see other celebrities or WWE guys, in quotation, WWE guys, wrestlers fight in the UFC. Because Brock Lesnar, you got to remember, he was a Division I national champion, had NFL experience.
Yes.
He's a fucking freak.
Yes.
So these other wrestlers are just like, no way, man.
You think it's good for the brand or cheapens it?
Cheapens it.
I agree with you.
I like CM Punk as a person.
Yeah.
I like that he has the balls to do it. Me as a businessman and as an athlete in the UFC for a long time, it's a sideshow.
I agree because WWE is a sideshow in itself, and there are guys like you and other guys who have dedicated years and years and years to the training and the craft, right? And so for this guy to jump ahead,
well, think about it. Think of any other professional organization. Let's say Brad Pitt wanted to play for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Hold on, let me picture him in those shorts. Go.
Boom. See, I've already thought about it. I already had it. Let's say Brad Pitt wants to play for the Los Angeles Lakers, and he calls up the GM's like, "Hey, listen, man, I'm basically done with acting. I'm pretty athletic. I played some basketball in high school. Can you put me in for a game?"
Mm-hmm. Terrible.
Would any other sport do that?
No.
If Denzel Washington wanted to play soccer for Real Madrid, and he called them up, what do you think would happen?
Right.
Yeah. If Brian Callen wanted to play quarterback for the Denver Broncos, you think they would even give him a jersey? It's just, it depends how serious you want to get. Now, if you want to go the WWE road and you like their platform and their business plan, do that. But if you want to be taken serious as NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, any of that, you can't do this stuff.
So this dude then.
And I wish the best for CM Punk. That's the thing, though. I've met him. I've trained him. He's a really good guy.
That's what I was going to. So are you hoping he does well so it doesn't turn into as much of a sideshow? Or are you?
I think if he does well, it turns into a sideshow because then it opens up the floodgates. Because then they're like, hey, guess what?
Right.
Khloe Kardashian's big ass wants in at the 135 division.
By the way,
Ronda, watch out. It's Khloe Kardashian.
If they put her in a singlet, I would tune in.
Right?
Oh, she's my favorite one.
Me too. She's the best one now.
Oh, yeah.
Brother,
she's my
we're so
favorite
much
one.
alike. Me too. Fuck Kim and Courtney.
It's not even close.
Khloe's doing the damn
Yeah,
thing.
look, now we can add the
She's
other
an
two
asset.
in. Kylie, because they're both legal now, right?
Kylie
Okay.
and Kendall,
Yeah, so we can.
they can get it too.
I still throw Khloe in there.
You know who's coming off the bench, and I don't know if I'm even putting her on my team.
Who?
Courtney. She's looking pretty run down right now.
Listen,
Does she just say fuck it in general and just like do nothing now?
I don't know because I'm hung up on Khloe, and I saw when she hosted an episode of Chelsea Lately when I was on the show.
Her body.
Oh
she
my
body-
God!
Really?
So good because her
I knew
ass.
it. Because all those black NBA players aren't feeling a girl like that unless she's boom, boom, pound
Oh
up.
my! Look,
I fucking knew it.
it's so and to me.
You think it's real? The ass isn't real. She's had injections.
No,
She didn't have those.
bite your tongue. No. Oh my God! Listen, not unless they injected her with sweet goodness, because it was like it had the right wobble and everything.
She's skinny waist?
I mean, how skinny are we talking about? I like a thicker. I like a thicker.
Yeah, no shit, Playboy. You ordered the giant Puerto Rican.
Yeah,
hooker.
yeah. I like all my girls look like they could take a punch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I like some meat on them.
Mostly because look, I'm not a big dude. So if there's a fight in a bar, I need to have somebody who
I
can
get
stand
that.
behind me
I'm
and be
with
like,
that, man.
"I'm with this guy." Like
I think, if I'm ranking them, I might even have Caitlyn Jenner's ass coming off the bench before Courtney. She's looking rough, brother.
So you like broad shoulders on your women, huh?
Hey, you're just talking about big boys.
Yeah, no, yeah. So what you like in a woman is broad shoulders and a dick. Apparently.
Couple calluses on the hands.
For me, that's your thing. That's not my thing. But I think I would go Khloe. I
go Khloe, Kim, Kylie, Kendall, and then after that it's whatever.
Courtney.
Courtney's not on my list, my man.
You throw Caitlyn above Chris?
Oh.
I mean, I think I might, just for the experience.
The old wild card.
I mean, listen, me having sex with Caitlyn is a way better story than me having sex with Chris, right?
Yeah.
If I said to you at a party, hey, I'm not telling anybody else, fuck Caitlyn Jenner, you'd be like, come here, tell me about that shit.
Oh, 100%. If you say Chris, I'm like, whatever. Who hasn't, homeboy? No. That's fucked up.
Now, listen, I took a little flack last time I was on the show.
Why?
I might have repeated a Joe Diaz story, but
They're
there's
so classic.
There's so many good ones, and I promised that I had a couple of new ones. And now, because I've known Joey since before we came here, right? I've known him,
man.
I've
You
known
guys came up together.
Yeah, we started in Seattle together. Joe Diaz has a knack for not doing great with the English language. And so he also is like, he messes up sayings. So this happened all in one afternoon. I'll save the story of when we stole a safe for the next time I'm on the show. It's a good story.
Yes.
We stole a safe. It was a good one.
I love it.
So we're at my daughter's birthday party, and he goes to me, because his sayings are terrible. He goes, in his English language, he goes, hey, where's the candy? Is it in the DRAW? And I go, the what? The DRAW. I go, I don't know what that is. He goes, is the candy in the drawer, dude? Is it in the fucking drawer? I go, first of all, It's Drawer. And he said, that's not how I say it. I go, yeah, but we all spell it the same on purpose. So we can all, I said, and second of all, you spelled out the wrong word. If you didn't want her to know what we were talking about, you should have spelled out candy, you fucking dumbass. Like, if she doesn't care what's in the drawer. And then later in the afternoon, he says to me, this is my favorite Joe Diaz saying of all time. He said to me, your daughter, she got a memory like a hawk. And I go, what? I said, I don't think that's a saying. He goes, memory like a hawk. First of all, I think it's eyesight of an eagle.
In memory of an elephant?
Yeah, I don't think the hawk's in there anywhere.
The hawk's not in that.
So he says to me, I go, what do you mean memory like a hawk? He goes, Josh Wolf, a hawk leaves a nest every day. Flies around in a forest where all the trees look the same. Finds its way back to the same tree. That's a pretty good fucking memory.
It's a legit point. Yeah. It's a fucking solid point.
Yeah, that's why I was like, fuck, I can't really argue that one, can I?
Mine like a hawk.
And when he used to babysit my kids, when they talked, he would go, up, 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 up. Little kids talk when chickens pee. And I would say, if he didn't want them to speak, he would say, little kids talk when chickens pee. And I was like, what is that saying? He goes, I don't know. I go, I go,
the hawk one I'm going to use from now on.
Yeah. Little kids talk when chickens pee. And I was like, does it work? He goes, watch. We were at the house one day. My kids started talking. He goes, what do I say? And all three of them were like, little kids talk when chickens pee. And they just shut up and sat back down. And I was like, that's the fucking... Dude. So you're just making sayings up.
I want to hire him as a babysitter.
He was the best.
Your kids are probably better for it.
Yeah, but
so much flavor.
Yeah, we did weird things. Like, I had no money, right? So when Joey and I would want to, entertain them but still wanted to talk, we would put them in the trunk of my car. And we would drive around in an empty parking lot.
Yeah, that's frowned upon.
So we could talk. Yeah, it is frowned upon. So
middle of summer,
we could talk, right? And we could have conversations, but they were being entertained. They loved riding in the trunk because it, and you could hear them it was hilarious. And they were in the back like gung 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 gung, and we just drove around in an empty parking lot. They had a great time.
I loved it.
It was fun until
you go to jail now, my man. You do that.
Well, we almost went to jail. My daughter, we were at Ralph's at the grocery store, and we're putting groceries in my trunk. And she tried to climb into the trunk just as a cop was driving by. I go, what's going on, babe? She goes, can we ride in the trunk home again? And the cop was like, I was like, hey, yeah. They're kidding. Crazy. Yeah. We used to they loved being put in the trunk, dude.
Yeah, you can't do much these days at all with kids.
No.
There's really nothing.
What part of the country you grew up in?
Denver.
Oh, yeah. So did you ever slush on the back of a car?
During the snow?
When you grab the bumper?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So for
can't do that these days.
Explain to people what that is.
It's so when it snows and then when the cars start driving in the snow, like maybe a day and a half or a day later, half a day later, it turns into sleet, like slushy.
Yeah.
And so you can grab the back of a bumper, and while they drive slow, you freaking basically jet ski on the snow.
And did you ever? So we would do it like we would wait for someone to stop at a stoplight, and there'd be like four of us standing there, and then one of us would duck and just grab and slush down the street, right? That is the single stupidest thing because you're like an inch away from
super dangerous.
You're an inch away from dying.
Yes.
No matter what. If that car stops quickly, if it speeds, it was so much fun. But can you imagine seeing kids do that right now?
Be on the news. We used to tie a big like raft behind the cars.
Yeah, we did the those cafeteria trays.
Yeah,
we would just kneel on those and grab onto the bumper and go.
The good days, man.
Oh man, that was so much fun. But you could never. Did you ever do that?
No.
You never. Oh, it was a good time.
Kay grew up here. She never did that shit.
I don't remember doing it at least.
That means you didn't do it.
Yeah. I was in Missouri at that time, so.
You were in Missouri?
Yeah. You
could have done it there.
Yeah.
Ooh, Missouri gets cold.
It snows pretty good there.
Yeah, Missouri gets freezing.
It's not too bad.
We did look. Of course, we threw snowballs at cars.
Of course, standard.
Did you ever have someone stop and chase you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
It was the best, I thought.
Oh, I didn't mind because I was faster than everybody else.
Me too. Yeah. Like, see ya. We had the one fat friend.
Yeah. I always made sure I'm not the slowest. Am I the slowest? I don't gotta be the fastest as long as I'm not the slowest.
I love it, man. Dude, we gotta get you out of here. I gotta get out of here.